Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. John Partridge, Chris Wingrave, here today to take you through some more Monday Night Pauper.
It is tonight, and
I didn't lead you in on that.
What did you do? What did you do?
I
Right.
dropped you a right one. Yes,
in.
today is Monday night. It is Pauper evening. We have a fair number of players in the room. We are going to send it down to the feature match area for our first round between Jacob Hare and Arapad Vereb. I probably butchered his name completely, but I do apologise. I'm sure there's someone better who can pronounce his name, but I believe that is correct. We are going to go down. We have Mono White Heroic on one side versus Green Black Sacrifice on the other. We will give the players the go-ahead, and we'll be into round number 1 of Monday Night Pauper.
Nummer 1. Nummer 1, der Matchen. Let's get in and start with it now. We shall see. So Jacob Hare with his lovely hair, apparently. Wonderful, right, so they're just shuffling up and getting ready, and they've been told they can start, so
let's
there you go. Let's get rid of Dispel.
Yeah, let's not do that. What we are going to do, let's put up Unearth. I've got a fairly... Oh, no, that's Wednesday's card. We saved that one for Wednesday. We're going to go Unearth.
Yes, Unearth.
Because that's one of the prime cards in one of the decks that our player is playing. Why do you want to submerge things?
I want to submerge
Why do you want to submerge things? It's a little bit harsh. Right, so we're going to go to the Joys. That is the MTG Goldfish website, and we're going to see one of the cards players are opening up. The Green-Black Sacrifice deck on one side versus White Heroic. I'm not sure exactly who won the dice roll-off, but we will soon find out. Looks like some...
Do you often use this for cycling, do you think?
No. You can do, though. I can see it being used as a...
I
can see it being used as a cycler if you are struggling on cards to play.
So this isn't the one that's...
So we're going to see Arpad keeping here.
Yes.
We're
going to lead off Swamp, Duress.
Into, looks like Carrion Feeder to start with. So, Pauper, just what you need on a Monday night.
Cold, dreary Monday night as well.
Yeah, it was a pretty rubbish day today, I will agree.
Had hail this morning as well.
Really? Yeah. I didn't see I'm not going to lie, I did not see the hail.
We got a Laguna Trailblazer? Laguna?
Yep. Laguna Band Trailblazer. You can try and spell it now if you want.
Yeah, maybe later.
So it is not a Tortured Existence deck. I do know that for certain. He is not playing that version.
A little bit. Trailblazer.
something Trailblazer.
Something Ignite.
Green, Black, Carrion Feeder. Ooh, Carrion Feeder in Pauper. So we're going to see a second Plains here. We're going to see the Jungle Hollow taps here for Arpad up to 21. And not attack into the 0-4.
No.
Okay, so what I'm going to do...
So it's definitely got a... so he's led off with... I guess to get the extra value off the spells for next turn, and the Trailblazer's doing a good job of blocking here, so he's got his 2-2. We're just messing around now with the...
trying to spell cards.
It's not that one, is it?
Let's get rid of this one.
I think it's like Laguna, isn't it? Or like... I'm not sure. So what was this card that was just been played on the white side?
What, Seeker of the Way?
Seeker of the Way, that's it.
Seeker of
Slipped my mind for a
way. Slipped your mind, but for the moment, so we can save ourselves.
It was in the Standard.
It was pretty good in Standard.
Yeah.
It was pretty good when it was in Standard. That was a very strong archetype. Actually, it was fit in quite a few decks, actually. And Mardu as well when it was in the Standard format available. Common, a 2-2, 1 and a white, prowess, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Secret of the Way gains lifelink. A very important rules text on this card. So,
especially when you give it sort of the random +1s.
Here we go. This looks like a deck. Yes, it looks like we're looking at this one where we have a Brindle Shout in play. It's a Brindle Shoat in play. It is a 1 and a green, 1/1.
Yes.
When it dies, create a 3/3 boar creature token.
Yeah,
so
not one you really want to...
No, not when you want to lose. However, with the Joys of the Carrion Feeder, it is a 1/1 for a black mana which cannot block. Sacrifice a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Carrion Feeder. A great way of upsizing our cards. We see in a Crowan Skyguard here for Jacob. Unfortunately, his deck does not seem to be firing quite on all cylinders, so we're going to see a +1/+1 counter onto the Carrion Feeder. And untap of the turn. That is not a treasure token, ladies and gentlemen. That is a 3/3 beast token as we find another.
We should have a collection
Brindle
of tokens around there.
You want to have a look this time for him? Because I have no idea what these tokens are.
I don't know where they put them either. They should be on the table, but not to
We
worry.
will go and find them for the next
that
game.
In the next rounds, yeah.
So just having a think here, has a couple of Brindle Shokes
no, this
in
was
play.
another card that was played around about that same standard time, wasn't it, with the Prowess as well? I think it was the, is it 1-3 with Prowess? It's flying. Certainly got flying.
No, it's a Crowan Skyguard.
A Crowan Skyguard.
A Crowan Skyguard is a 2-mana 1/1 flying heroic.
Is it heroic? I see.
Which was why it was really. It was printed in one of the second. It wasn't printed in the first set of the heroics of Theros. It was printed in one of the second sets. There we go. A Crowan Skyguard, 1 and a white flying heroic.
Excellent.
Whenever you cast a spell that targets a Crowan Skyguard, put a +1/+1 counter on a Crowan Skyguard. And obviously, please bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, it says target with a cast spell. So you do not have to have the spell resolve. You can have it's countered, but it still resolves. We're going to see a Cartouche of Solidarity enter the battlefield here, making a...
This is kind of what made some of the decks that were a bit weak to sort of plonking everything on one and then dying to a sacrificial effect. So the Cartouche was actually really good at blanking.
Yes, because
any,
it makes...
yes.
So Cartouche of Solidarity. Target creature gets +1/+1 and first strike. When Cartouche of Solidarity enters the battlefield, creates a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. And we're going to see a rebound spell being cast here. We are now going to drop all the way back to...
I can't remember that one, actually. It's
well, while you have a think about it, I am going to pull this back up. And...
Dragon something?
We are going to go and...
Hunting or something? No, not certain. Not certain of what actually that is.
But it does give, I believe it gives +2/+2, and it has a rebound as well. Very strong card when you're trying to pump up your creatures when your opponent has tapped out and not able to respond, especially in a format with not the greatest removal package in the world.
Not good removal.
But it is certainly a strong place to be. So I believe it is this mono-white deck here. So we're looking at a...
Tremo's Blessing?
No, it's not Tremana's Blessing. Let's keep going through the list.
But then I don't think Jacob's got exactly a stock list.
No, it's actually quite hard to block a lot of this heroic creatures because his opponent doesn't have any flyers in play.
So he's got Rancor now onto the Carrion Feeder. That's pretty good. Yep.
The turn 1 0-1 has definitely done a lot to the first turn 0-4 has definitely done a lot to stop the bleeding here. We're going to see an attack here for 4.
I like sending everything in here actually right now.
But we're going to see a chump block here from the Seeker of the Way. We're going to see a cast sacrifice 3/3, pumps it up again, now becomes a 4/4. We're going to see a mutagenic growth enter the battlefield and target the Seeker of the Way, prowess triggered. So effectively giving a +3/+3 and lifelink.
So it's still going to die.
But it would trade instead.
It's still going to die, but the Carrion Trader can't eat. Sorry, Carrion Feeder can't eat the token and live at this moment.
So at the moment it is a 6/4 Carrion Feeder.
Seems good.
So I don't think you sacrifice it at this point. I think you trample some damage over the top, let your opponent gain some life.
So the Jacob's actually going to be going up in life here from this particular block. Unless there's some response from Arpad, but I don't believe he had anything in hand to remove this. A Disfigure would be particularly good right now, unless then if Jacob's got another Mutagenic Growth in hand, but it looks like he hasn't. So Rancor goes back to the hand after it hits the graveyard. Good thing about Rancor, it's good in every single sort of format, it's just got that value.
Yes, being able to come back to your hand. Coming back to your hand after something's happened to it is pretty good. We're going to see another Carrion Feeder as a backup plan, and we're going to see another of the rebound trigger coming in, gets +2/+2. Again, the Crowan Skyguard now up to quite a large threat.
This Cartouche is particularly good.
Yes, it certainly is.
There was now it looks like another Seeker of the Way for Jacob here. Whether he'll cast it now, I'm not sure, or whether he'll try and hold up some spells.
Artful Maneuver. There we go.
The flying.
So Artful Maneuver, instant target creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn, rebound if you cast this spell from your hand, exile it as resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast it again without paying its mana cost. Good. Going to see another Cartouche of Solidarity into play here. The Crowan Skyguard now up to a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 power flyer with 2 1/1. 2 1/1 warrior creature tokens with vigilance to do any blocking required. We're going to see a massive attack here from Jacob, he also does seem to have another copy of Mutagenic Growth. However, that is not lethal. It would put his opponent to 1.
Yes, exactly.
Which may not be a bad idea, actually. But again, I think I'd rather just play the Secret of the Way and go white next turn. Make sure your opponent dies.
These 2 soldier tokens as well. Oh, are they soldiers? I think they are
They
soldiers, right?
are warriors.
So, they're warriors, okay.
Warrior creature tokens with vigilance. Yes, they certainly are. But we have seen one of the other sides of this green-black deck just drawn into hand in the form of a young wolf. Now,
the one with what was it called?
Undying. So the 1 mana is a green 1/1 wolf creature with Undying. When this creature dies, if it had no +1/+1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under owner's control with a +1/+1 counter of it. Very good combination here with the Carrion Feeder. Effectively a free sacrifice to make a 1 mana 2/2, which is quite a good upgrade for a lot of creatures. And then obviously, if it is ever blocked or could be killed, you get to sacrifice it again to the Carrion Feeder. We're going to see an untap and a pass back of the turn. And we're done.
So Young Wolf actually saw some Little Play in Modern recently. I don't know if you've seen it. It was played with the Pongify.
Oh, wow.
That sort of Simic Evolve. I think they called it Simic Evolve deck. So
like Experiment 1.
Experiment 1s.
Good card.
Young Wolves.
Strangleroot Geist. Oh, yes. Green, 2/1.
And what was the other card?
Turns
Rapid Hybridization.
It turns out upgrading your 1/1s into a 3/3 and a 2/2 for a mana is quite good.
Who knew that Undying was good with destroy stuff?
Yeah, it's
an ape.
You get an ape from one of them, and you get a frog lizard from the other. I do believe it is a
ape and a frog lizard.
They are both 3/3s, which is obviously very strong. So we're going to start looking at our hands. We're going to see some Celestial Flares here on the side of Jacob. We have some Null Spellbomb, some Artifact and Enchantment removal. The Feed of the Clans. Hello.
There is Mana Tithe.
Oh wow, we haven't seen that for a while. So while I try and type it in, you can now remember what Mana Tithe does.
Mana Tithe is counter target spell unless its controller plays 1 for 1 white.
and this is the thing you have to remember. So this is part of like the cycle of cards where they were in the wrong colours.
That's right. Yeah.
So you had like Sunlance was obviously the white lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And then you had a few other ones, including one of them being Mana Tithe, the white mana instant to counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. Was from the Time Spiral set, but it was one. It was in the middle, wasn't it? I can't remember which one it was from.
This is Plane Chase, I believe. Is it Plane Chase? I think that's Plane Chase. I mean, essentially, it was. This is a great. There's been a few counter spells in white over the years.
Few and far between.
I think reasonably so. They have Rebuff the Wicked, which counter target spell that targets a permanent you control.
Nice. From Planar Chaos.
Planar Chaos. That's
so this was where obviously.
Was the
it was a separate set. Planar Chaos obviously being the set where things were a little bit upside down, as per the Planar Chaos side of it. But we're going to see players looking at
what other notable cards are there from Planar Chaos that I can think
of.
Well,
let's go have a look.
Planar Chaos, Mana Tithe was just really fun. Gets so bad so quickly, but the one time where the one time where someone's going to like Thought Seize you or something and you go, Mana Tithe, and not expecting that.
You had things like Simian Spirit Guide. Was another one that was slightly off
Simian Spirit Guide,
of that set. Urborg.
Was Urborg from there, really?
Urborg was originally from this set. You had all the Intet the Dreamer and Vorals. No,
the dragons.
The dragon.
Yeah,
you had a Varosh the Hunter.
Varosh. Actually, Varosh was played in quite a few commander decks. Actually, it's pretty good.
So you had lots of different cards from that set.
Varosh was quite good fun, actually. I've never seen that in the commanders.
I hadn't assumed Spirit Guide was apparently a common. Intet the Dreamer was another one. Wild Pair. Pongify was obviously another one.
Great
Keen Sense. Keen Sense.
Oh, Keen Sense, yeah.
Yep. Porphyry Nodes.
Porphyry, yeah, of course, Porphyry Nodes, yeah.
Oh, yes, Dash Hopes. So you had the black counter spell as well in the form of Dash Hopes, which was also a common, interestingly enough. So when you cast Dash Hopes, any player may pay 5 life. If a player does counter Dash Hopes, counter target spell for black. And again, it was a common, so it was one of these sets that were a bit weird in the cards that you had had access to. Like you had Porphyry Nodes, which was a strange one in green. You had Essence Warden, which was a strange one in green. Porphyry Nodes obviously in white. So you had this really interesting set of cards, and obviously one of them from Mana Tithe was this. Where they just played off each other really nicely, where you were able to play these. You were actually able to finally play a card that didn't fit in your colours.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Mana Slivers is always good fun.
Oh yeah,
and then
definitely.
you sort of scare your opponent when you leave 1 mana up.
Yeah, does he have it?
So they sort of play a turn behind, which is always quite good for the white decks. Normally, generally being sort of small and low to the ground.
So we're going to see what
Give
the
a play with
players-
Imp's Mischief.
Okay, that's
that
also
black
interesting.
card.
Mm-hmm.
With it's basically like a redirect.
Okay.
Pretty funny though, because it can act as sort of like a counter spell and a counter war.
Mm-hmm.
So Imp's Mischief was actually quite quite a nice card in black if you didn't have access to counter spells or wanted to stop, say, I don't know, a random huge spell going off in your face, like a lightning storm or something.
Mm-hmm. So obviously some of the things we're going to look at from the sideboard, we have
Aerial
Volley, which seems great against the Akron Skyguard if you can tag it early
Very
enough.
good. Yeah.
Innocent Blood as well.
Yep.
Sometimes really good, sometimes going to be terrible. Depends if they have the cartouche in play. You have Natural State, which I'd be very interested in, kills all the enchantments.
Yeah.
May give you a way of blocking things. Augur of Skulls, maybe not so much. The ability to block and regenerate, not as good against the heroic deck, and the sacrifice ability to discard 2 cards, also not so good.
Yes.
Feed the clans again. If they're hitting you, they're going to be actually hitting you.
Yeah,
and then
your stuff can get quite big as well.
Yeah, and then Respite seems okay. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. You gain 1 life for each attacking creature, which obviously is
kind of like a
upgrade fog. Doesn't have flashback though. I remember that game.
Oh yeah. Something shards, wasn't it? Prismatic shards.
Yes, that was prismatic strands.
Strands, that's it. Yeah,
that was cast 6 times. So it looks like Arpad is going to take a mulligan down to 6. Obviously, no lands in hand. We can see Jacob keep his hand. He has Lagundaban Trailblazer into the Artful Maneuver, also with the Ethereal Armor and a Seeker of the Way. So we can see a couple of good first few turns here for Jacob.
So the Fogs seem quite good against this mono white heroic deck.
I'm definitely interested in the Fogs.
His whole plan is just attacking you with essentially
Voltron
really
your opponent.
Yeah. So getting to play Fogs again and again seems like a good idea, and jamming in. But then I guess there's only a couple of maybe hits.
Looks like a difficult looking hand here for Arpad to keep. It doesn't look like he has any lands. We're going to see down to 5. Didn't look like he had what he wanted there in that hand.
Not
Maybe
quite,
an Ash Baron's not able to cycle that one well enough when you have no other lands.
Not with a tap land and coming into play on turn 1. We have to see if there's any kind of way that this green-black sacrifice deck can get around having to go down to a mulligan against this heroic deck. I think there would be some suitable
a removal spell.
Yeah, pretty much.
And to be fair, the removal spells at this point would actually be quite good.
So does Jacob run any God's Willing, or is that?
Yes, he does. God's Willing is in the deck. So
seems
some
like
decks, some run Emerge unscathed because it has rebound.
Yes.
But God's Willing, actually having the scry ability on God's Willing is really powerful. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the God's Willing.
So when Heroic first got released or unleashed upon the world in Theros, it wasn't Theros. Was it Theros?
Yeah, it was Theros.
Yeah,
it was originally in Theros.
It was all the gods, wasn't it?
Yes.
I played a red-white Heroic at the very, very start of that season in Standard. And God's Willing was amazing there, with madcap skills and random...
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great sort of deck in Standard.
And even when it became Bant Heroic, where you had your Ordeals of Thassa and Ordeals of Heliod and all the other ones as well.
I played straight blue-white, and that did really well because of Hidden Strings. I don't know if you remember that card.
I do remember that card. So he's going to quickly read the Ballista Pod. So we are going to pull that up on the stream. Unfortunately...
There's another card that was played in Standard.
Yes, it was. Unfortunately, Arpad not able to find his second land and only able to play a Ballista Pod in response. A 1-mana 1-1 with when Ballista Pod dies, you may put a 1-1 Eldrazi Scion creature token onto the battlefield. It has sacrifice this creature, add 1 to your mana pool. That actually might be quite good because he might be able to actually cast some spells this game. Yeah. And we also see a Innocent Blood in hand here, so it could be quite a good turn next turn.
So getting flashbacks of last game, except for the Ballista Pod.
Apart from no second land here for Arpad again, not able to find his way forward. Looks like a green spell of some description.
You might just serve in, I guess, and see if there's any tricks.
I don't think you have to serve in quite yet. Looks like maybe a Nest Invader has been drawn.
Okay.
Obviously,
Nest Invader's good.
Yep, because it allows you to make more Eldrazi spawn.
Yep.
However, they're 0-1s, not 1-1s. There is a small difference here.
Yeah, there's spawns and scions, isn't there? There's the difference.
Yeah, but if he can get this Blister Pod to die, then he might be able to actually make that. Then he
it could
actually
be that
gets some more
Jacob just
mana.
thinks it's a free block, but not realising... Well, maybe we'll see. See what happens here.
I think if he attacks, you say, okay,
bomb.
deal.
Yeah, exactly, take one.
We're going to lifelink it all back anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to see. Let's have a look.
That is... Say that in unison then.
Yep, nope, not a clue.
Not certain here, actually, either. It's...
we're going to go and have a quick look, because I don't know.
John's going to quickly jump out of the booth and fly down to the feature match table, and we shall see exactly what that card is. Because for me, for that, can chat help out? If you're in chat right now, welcome. Thank you very much for joining by, stopping by even. If you can help us out, it'd be fantastic. We'd like to see if you actually have any idea what that card is. Feel free. Did we find out what it is?
Yes, I did.
Great.
So, let's go back. I will be able to type it in 1 moment.
Yeah, we're just sorting out to make sure everybody can be seen. Hopefully know that the chat's now working.
And
Wonderful.
it is one of these.
Scattershot Archer. Oh, okay, yes, sure, okay.
So
So
it's
it's the tap
Deal 1 damage.
to target creature, fine. Yes, sure.
So a 1 mana 1/2, and it's a 1 mana 1/2. It's actually quite a large creature as
Yeah,
well. We're going to see the
yeah.
Blister Pod die, and a mana and a Scion being made. The huge attack there from Jacob, not quite pushing forward enough. We can see a young
Not
wolf off
quite,
the top.
yeah.
Might see the Nest Invader to follow up as the next one. At the moment, that Laguna Band Trailblazer is a 4/8, alongside the 2/2, which has a
The
lifelink.
Hyena Umbras.
Yes.
Umbras quite good as well, just in case they have some form of removal spell.
Obviously, it doesn't get around sacrifice, but it gets around destroy target
no.
creature, which is sometimes all you need.
Certainly is.
And we're going to pass the turn back here.
He does have his mana now.
He also, I believe, has a tragic slip in hand, and
Okay.
well, the ephemeral shield's going to do wonders against that. But
Yes, yeah.
ethereal armor as well.
It looks like it's got a circle protection, is it? Circle? No.
Maybe.
Circle protection black,
look
maybe, but
like
it looked a
it.
bit more.
It looks a bit more funky in the artwork. We're
It
going to
does,
see
yeah.
a white mana being tapped and ethereal armor
Ethereal
being
armor.
enter the battlefield.
Trigger.
Do you have enough lifelink in your deck now?
Not quite.
So we're going to see another trigger here for the ethereal armor, which is going to give another +3/+3. So we're currently at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12.
Fantastic.
That is huge. All it's missing is a bit of lifelink.
Yeah, compared to
We're going to see a massive attack here from Jacob with both of his creatures. We're going to see the 1/1 jump in the way of the Seeker of the Way and say, yeah, I can't do a lot about
Yeah.
this huge block. So
block sack.
he can actually sacrifice it so he doesn't gain any life, which is
Yep,
obviously an interesting
that's
play. And with the mana, we are going to see him attempt to tragically slip our...
But
And we're going to see
quite.
ephemeral shield here for Jacob.
Gain +1 on the counter as well, which is good. And the Seeker of the Way grows to being a 4/4, but sadly doesn't matter because it got blocked anyway. So
It does help to be able to spell as well. So I'm going to, while I slowly work out how to actually spell ephemeral,
ephemeral.
doesn't like it.
PH, is it? EPH?
We'll
find out soon.
Oh no,
because
hang
of
on, no,
the
sorry.
Emergent Scath.
Huh, it's emerge unscathed.
Unscathed.
That's why I was on the wrong thing. So it's emerge unscathed.
Wonderful. Ah, so it's a Canny Heart Garden? That seems like
Can't,
good.
yeah. So
Seems
emerge unscathed.
sensible right now.
The rebound white mana target
That's
creature gains protection from the colour of your choice until end of turn. Well, that's going to be green, and that's going to be dead.
It's going to be very, very nice.
Unfortunately, Artpad's deck not quite able to get him through this game, both creatures being green. He needs to try and find a black creature. We're going to see another green one into play. The young wolf not quite going to get there. We're going to see an untap, and hopefully, if Jacob remembers how his cards work, he's going to rebound. He's going to need protection from green. We should be on to a very swift 2-0 victory for the heroic deck. Bearing in mind he went 0-4 last week, so a bit of a change here for Jacob. Able to win for the win for the Darksphere store, win for the Star for Darksphere, and we're going to see everything turns sideways.
Going to be doing it for the hair as well.
For the hair. Oh, good lord, that was terrible. That was shocking. What are you doing to me, man?
That's what he said. He says he's doing it for the hair.
No, so we're going to see it is green, unfortunately, which means that this attack is going to be lethal.
Yeah, there's not really too much ways out of this, and because you can just go.
He's going to shake that hand. Arapad
And
realises
it's
that the
over.
writing is on the wall, and Jacob Hare takes
Savage.
the game down 2-0 with his mono white heroic deck. Definitely interesting. Didn't expect it to go that way, but
yeah.
unfortunately,
So there wasn't really any edicts or anything like that to sort of get him as such. He would have needed to have 2 or 3 edicts then, I think, because of the amount of creatures in his hand.
Yep.
But it does get around the protection spells,
and
it gets around the totem armors as well. It's a really solid choice to go. Well, for this particular sort of matter, I guess, to some extent.
Yeah, it's because you have to bear in mind the removal is pretty bad. You can play non-hexproof heroic creatures, or ones that don't have huge benefits from when you do the protection. So it doesn't need its own protection spell, because actually the Tragic Clip is your best massive creature removal, and you have to have something else to turn it on. And in that game we saw the ability to turn it on, but being targeted meant that it wasn't going to do anything, and maybe your Innocent Bloods earlier on would have been able to get him some extra value. But that does bring us to the end of round number 1 here from the Monday Night Pauper. We're going to have a very quick break. We're going to get the players sorted. We'll see who wants to be on camera for round number 2. We're going to have a bit of a chat after the next one about some of the things we've been thinking about this week to do with Pauper. I certainly have some things that I've been thinking about. I'm going to go and remember what they were. Work today just fuddled my mind, and we're going to go and see how the rest of it's getting on. For those on the chat, yes, it does work. We can see test. Yes, it is a test, and it has worked. And we shall see you for round. Very nice. We shall see you for round number 2 of coverage very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the booth. John Partridge, Chris Wingrave here for round number 2 of Monday Night Pauper commentary here from a Dark Sphere in London. We have a different matchup here for you today. We have more greenery in the feature match area though, so we don't mind that. Do you want to tell the player? We'll tell them what they're playing today.
It is Rally Gond combo.
Yes, so Naya colours. So we'll find out what that is because I haven't got a clue.
Versus the mono green Stompy deck, which has sort of been top tier of
staple of Pauper for a while.
Staple, that's the word I was looking for.
Some people like playing massive green monsters, but we're going to send it down to the feature match area. We're going to give the players the go-ahead, and we will soon be on to round number 2 of coverage here from Dark Sphere in London.
Russell sporting a fantastic playmat as well, which we'd like to see. And the new wonderful green Dragon Shield sleeves. I don't know if anybody in the chat here has been playing with these new sleeves. They are absolutely fantastic. They're really, really nice to play with, nice and smooth with their shuffling, and they don't get all of that horrible mess of like skin and build up of just random horribleness on the cards. So they are actually really quite a good card. If you're thinking about getting new sleeves, the new Dragon Shield sleeves are really nice.
They are wonderful. So we can see a Soul's Attendant to start here for Daniel on the play.
Not to be confused with Soul Sisters.
I believe that's how you spell it.
It is, yeah. Maybe with a comma. Not comma, sorry.
No.
It's the Souls.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Soul's Attendant, and we're going to see a turn 1 looks like a Vault Scourge.
Yes, there you
so
go.
Soul's Attendant, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. So Daniel, up to 21 already. We
Seems
see
good.
Survivor's Encampment. We're going to see 2 mana being tapped. We're going to make a green mana with that to cast Commune with the Gods. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may take I believe, a creature or enchantment with you. So we have a... What it looks like the Presence of Gond was the pick up for that one.
So the enchant creature, and it gets... I see Presence of Gond. There was a combo with this that I have seen before.
So
yeah,
Presence of Gond, enchanted creature has tap, create a 1/1 elf warrior creature token. Now, obviously, pretty bad on its own, making the 1/1. However, if, say, for example, you're able to make a huge pile of 1/1s and then rally the peasants and kill your opponent for a small metric 9 million points of damage, is pretty good. We're going to see the attack here with the Vault Scourge from Russell. A measly little attack. His opponent at 28 life currently. That's pretty good. So we're going to see a draw of the turn here. Russell up to 19. We will go and quickly check the life totals. It looks like a Boris Garrison, the draw there for the turn.
Yeah,
the red-white bounce lands. It's going to quickly work out. There we go. They hit the +5 rather than the +1. There we go. 22 plays 19. So we're going to see the Nettle Sentinel and the Quirion Ranger. Russell seems to be unable to get away from those cards, apparently, as it turns out.
Unfortunately, so yes. Presence of Gond was a combo with in a modern deck that I saw not so recently, but in the last year, with Intruder Alarm, and also had the Village Bellringer.
Oh, okay.
So you enchant the Village Bellringer with Presence of Gond, and you go infinite.
Kiki-Jiki, Mirror Breaker.
It's basically Kiki-Jiki, yeah. But you don't even need Kiki-Jiki, you just need... you needed something that untaps. So you need either Intruder Alarm and a creature, or specifically Village Bellringer with Presence of Gond for the combo. So
we're going to see another... commune with the gods here. We're going to see Boris Garrison picking up the Survivor's Encampment. We're going to untap back to Russell. Nice little attack here for 4 points of damage.
Gain a lot of life.
Yeah, definitely one of the factors here. He's going to gain a fair amount of life. What we're going to do is we're going to quickly return to the Pauper main page and find a green. We're going to find the mono green deck. Not one of the most popular ones, but it is still good. Only 3.42% of the metagame or Magic Online. For those of you who are interested in such things, but we do have Rancors in the deck. We have Nettle Sentinels, Quirion Rangers.
Serves in with the team.
Skargan Pit's Skulk, which is one of the cards in hand, the Bloodless one. If the opponent was dealt damage this turn, enter the battlefield with a 1/1. Creatures with power less than Skargan Pit's Skulk's power can't block it, so we're going to make a 2/2 here for 1 mana 2/2 instead. There's lots of 1 mana 2/2s in this format, apparently. The other sort of card you are going to be looking at. Yes. The other card you're going to see, and obviously the main thing here, is that Daniel needs to find 3 mana tapping here. 4 mana, we're going to have the
Cycle?
But nope,
No,
it is
not quite, it's
their Battle Screech.
yes,
2 white,
yeah.
white, put 2. Let me get this one correct. Exactly, Battle Screech is put 2 1/1 white bird creature tokens with flying into play. Flashback, tap 3 untapped white creatures you control, so we can flash it back instantly to make 4 1/1 flying birds. That's a pretty good turn. That's a pretty good turn, as we're going to see. Possibly a pass back to the turn. We have another bounce land here, which I may have been tempted to play, but decides not to. Decides to hold on to it for the moment. We're going to pass back to the Stompy deck. Other things we're looking at is Burning Tree, Emissary, Nest Invader, Solana, Ledgewalker, and Vault Scourge.
I don't think Russell's running the Burning Tree in this deck.
No, I think he didn't. I think he left them at home, didn't find him.
Yeah.
Not feeling so happy about that one. But obviously we've got Elephant Guide. The target creature gets +3/+3, and when it dies, get a 3 green 3/3 elephant creature token onto the battlefield, alongside Hunger of the Howl Pack, +1/+1 counter on target creature, or 3+1/+1 counter if Morbid had been triggered at the previous turn.
Morbid.
And Vines of Vastwood, obviously the green kicker green.
There,
Target creature can't be blocked this spike, cannot be the target of spells or abilities your opponent controls this turn. If Vines of Vastwood was kicked, that creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. So a 2 mana +4/+4, pretty good. So we're going to see Solana Ledgewalker in hand there for Russell. The 1 and a green, there's only normally 3 copies roughly, cannot be blocked by creatures except by creatures with flying, and it cannot be the target of spells or abilities your opponent controls. He's going to pass the turn back, it means he must have something like a Howl of the Night pack to play.
Imagine Russell's just sort of waiting here. He's got some free damage he can do, but he can't really offer up any more creatures because of the Soul's Attendants just gaining him so much life here for Dan.
Exactly, yeah. So like he's at 19 life and he's taken a fair few big swings in this game, and it's not quite able to do. But it looks like Russell has a Howl of the Hunger of the Howl pack. And we see the Soul Warden into play here, and just a huge way of gaining a huge amount of life. See another Soul's Attendant in play. That is 2 life. Per creature.
Yeah, so it's
pretty good.
It's going to be an uphill battle here for Russell, unfortunately, unless he draws some Rancors.
So we're going to see a Benevolent Bodyguard into play here, another 2 life being gained. This is the one which sacrifice, prevent all damage to a target creature.
Benevolent Bodyguard seems particularly good in this matchup.
Turns out we looked for this card last week.
Yes, we
Even
did.
better. Already in the system, Benevolent Bodyguard, a white mana 1/1, sacrifice Benevolent Bodyguard. Target creature you control gains protection from colour of your choice until end of turn. We see the Lesnia Sanctuary into play, tapped bouncing the Survivors encampment again, and a big attack for 4 here by Daniel. Now it depends on what Russell wants to do. He could Hunger of the Howl pack.
Yes, it could be a good functional card right now, I think.
But he's going to take 4 instead.
Taking 4 in the air, I mean, you can't really block them so
I'm going to see another Soul's Attendant into play, and another huge swing of life here for Daniel. Up to 25, we're going to see an untap here from Russell. Unfortunately, the Nether Sentinel doesn't untap, but we do have a Vines of the Vastwood. The Forest's not flowing from the top of Russell's deck today.
Unfortunately not, no. He's not getting a particularly good set of draws here. I think one more land would be nice. Doesn't
look like he has this Ledgewalker's not terrible, but he does need to start doing something with his deck. Unfortunately, he does need to have a way of untapping his Nether Sentinel. He's got to have a thinker now. His opponent gaining a lot of life each turn, which does seem quite difficult for the aggressive, tilted green deck to get through. We're going to see an attack here for 3 by... so we're going to see a Vines of the Vastwood being kicked on to the Vault Scourge. This is going to be a big damage, a big swing of 5. We're going to also see the Nettle Sentinel untap. If Russell remembers that it does actually untap his Nettle Sentinel, it's when you play a green spell.
Yep. Which is actually relevant for... Yeah, there we go.
Does remember because it now blocks.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And the Quirion Ranger can also serve up as some form of blocker.
So we're going to see a Forest being bounced back to the hand. And we're going to untap the Vault Scourge, allows Russell to play his land for the turn in the form of this Forest. Quirion Ranger, quite a good card in these land-light decks, able to allow you to do multiple things each turn. And we're going to see a pass back of the turn from Russell. Yes, pass back of the turn to Daniel Gowron, untap of all his lovely 1/1s. And draw for the turn. Forest off the top, so he's got multiple lands in hand and 1 Presence of Gond.
Glorious bird tokens as well.
Yes, and a Presence of Gond, which is also quite nice.
He has a Presence of Gond.
So we're going to see 4 mana being tapped. Looks like we're going to be playing the Presence of Gond here. Oh no, we're going to...
Oh no. Cycler?
No, it looks like that is...
Oh yeah, that's the... it's escaping my mind. No. Go and help us out, chat. See if you're in the chat right now. go ahead and say what that card is, if you know what that card is. If you don't, just put a...
Oh, Sen's Enlistment.
Oh, Sen's Enlistment.
So put two 1/1 White Kithkin Soldier
art.
creature tokens into play. Retrace.
Yes.
You may play this card from your graveyard by discarding a land card. It is 4 mana, so it's quite a few. We're going to see a big attack here against Russell. Unfortunately, still
Game
no
3.
third land off.
6.
Still no land off the top, unfortunately, for Russell. Looks like a Rancor, although that is a really good draw right now, Rancor, because it does allow him to suit up this quite large...
I would probably put it on the Vault Scourge right now.
Yeah, it makes it a 3/1. You can race the birds at that point.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And I believe he had another Vines of Arswood in his hand anyway.
Well, he definitely has a Howl of the Hunger Pack, which is always good as well. But it looks like we have a Nest Invader, which he's considering playing. It does unfortunately give his opponent 6 life.
Yeah.
But you might be priced into playing
I don't think you're getting around that
turn.
in any time anyway. So
Nest Invader for Russell brings along a 1/1 with it as well. And we're going to gain 6 life. Daniel up to 30 life. Quite an impressive life total.
Yeah, where's Sarah's Ascendance?
Yeah. There's your Bajuka Bog when you need it. But however, the Quirion Ranger does... Quirion Ranger doing a lot of work in this game.
It certainly is. It's giving him a way out of this sort of awful board state he's looking at right now.
He does also have this really nice turn where he can Morbid trigger the Howl of the Hunger Pack.
Yeah.
With the Scion.
Let's see what he does right this second.
I still like making Rancor.
I still like doing Rancor, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so he's going to attack like this, and then he's going to untap his Vault Scourge with the Quirion Ranger, which is also fine.
I think I would have tried to put the Rancor on something, at least. But I guess maybe he's saving it in case there's some form of removal spell. Which I don't think there really is in these particular colours, with mana left open. I guess there's also the... But can the Benevolent Bodyguard... it's target creature you control, that's a shame. Otherwise that'd be quite funny.
Yes.
You can't sacrifice
Take 3.
the Rancor going into a creature. Because that would be a good play. You see the players here now. He's going to untap Vault Scourge, replay the Forest that was there.
Interesting that he's doing this now.
Ah, using a Scion as well. So for 2, this is the...
Howl of the Hunger Pack.
Howl of the Hunger Pack.
Oh, wow.
So...
So he's thinking, does he sacrifice the Benevolent Bodyguard? No, he's not going to give... But it's because it's target creature you control, he can't do the very clever trick of give the Vault Scourge protection from...
Yeah, that's right.
It's quite clever. Nice try.
It's a nice try.
Do appreciate it.
Yeah.
We see 3 counters being put onto the Vault Scourge, which forms a very handy blocker.
That's
now.
going to be a very, very good blocker, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty big, and with the Rancor to follow up next turn, an even bigger swing next turn. And right now, Daniel does need to find an answer to the Flyer. He could leave all his birds back, but it doesn't seem to be going far ahead. We see another Presence of Gond off the top here, and whether he just wants to retrace with that remaining land in hand.
I don't think there's any stage here that you want to leave your birds back to triple block or even quad block, knowing that some form of pump could happen.
We see a Presence of Gond, and now we're going to start. I believe this is the I'm going to go off stage of the game.
Need Nor in the Wary and Perforos.
But obviously, gaining 3 life every turn here is going to be pretty difficult for Russell to work his way through, but we finally see the 3rd land.
Instant speed as well.
Finally see the 3rd land. He is deciding to stay back, but the Elephant Guide, that is a big Vault Scourge. It is...
so Presence of Gone, there you are. Where were you guys? Remember you from last week? Nice to have you back.
That's the Elephant Guide here for Russell. +3/+3, that is a 7/7 Vault Scourge.
Yep.
Even in the realms of Legacy, even the realms of Legacy and Modern, it is not a 7/7.
Yeah.
It is always a X1.
This is where I would actually go and consider sacrificing... Oh, it's not the Benevolent Bodyguard can't do it, can it? Oh, no. Unless there is some form of protection spell out here from Daniel, but it looks like it's... No, it's just serving in, gain 7.
I still like attacking with the Skull. Nothing can block it.
Yep.
It is 2 damage that will go through. And yeah, that Elephant Guide is doing a large amount of work on Vault Scourge.
I think that's a suitable thing anyway.
It can't be actually blocked. You are not allowed to do that, Mr. Calran. It is power less than Pit Skull cannot block it.
That's right. It can't be blocked by creatures with less power, right?
Yeah.
So
It's a 2/2. It can't be jump blocked by 1/1s.
Yep.
So we're going to see a big hit for 9 here. The Quirion Ranger obviously able to do it in instant speed. We're going to see the activation of the Presence of Gond, gaining 3 life in the end step. Back to 22 for Daniel. He has another one in hand ready to go. And it feels like this deck might be slowly running away and out of control.
It's on its way,
well,
certainly,
the thing, he's still got a long way to go. He probably needs to make the second one this turn because he's still taking more than lethal damage each turn. And
That's
here we go,
right.
in come the birds. Quirion Ranger trigger? Yep. We're going to see the Quirion Ranger return the Forest to hand, untap the Vault Scourge.
Yes.
And we're going to see a block here on the birds. It's a life game match. This might not
It's
end.
pretty much a life game match.
We're going to see a block on a bird.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed. What are we doing? Stop putting Village Bell Ringer in.
I want to see it.
Why do you want to see it? Stop putting it in.
If it's
Save
there.
it. Hit save.
Yeah. Just ignore the commentary at the moment.
Did you hit
Oh,
save?
there we go. There we
Oh,
are.
it is a common.
It is a common.
You
so
can
it must
play
be
it.
in there, yeah. That's what I thought it was. Had it in the back of my mind that it was there. So as soon as Village Bellringer comes out, well, actually, no, not as soon as Village Bellringer comes out. Presence of Gond needs to go on Village Bellringer, sadly. However, there we go. We shall see. Maybe it comes up in the next few turns, and then you can go in for it.
Daniel at 27, Russell at 29. Okay.
And Quirion Ranger can do this every turn? Yes.
Yes, yes, it can. Is each player's turn. We're going to see. Looks like another Elephant Guide in hand for Russell. Do we just make the Vault Scourge ginormous? Or you could, to be fair, you could start putting it on the Pit Skulk as well.
Yeah,
like
actually,
it attacks for 5 points of damage.
It's going to be a suitable clock then.
Unblockable 5 damage. Yeah, I think we're going to see that.
I do like getting the lifelink though because you're not
losing anytime soon.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if your opponent does have, say, Journey to Nowhere in hand.
That's true. Diversifying your threats right now.
However,
be good, but
no,
it looks like Russell's
going to go for the 10-10 flyer.
He just likes it. Yeah. What's not good to,
The thing is as well for putting it onto Skulk is it can't be chump blocked, whereas the Vault Scourge can be.
That's right. Yeah.
Constantly by these birds. And if Daniel ever finds another Battle Screech, then I like the attack with the 2/2s. Yeah. They're all bigger than his opponent's stuff. Like, maybe it's fine. Again, it's difficult to know. Like, you have a massive lifelink, so you're not dying. You're about to gain 10 life.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to get more life than these 3 solstices are doing.
So he's actually going to take 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So he's going to take 16 damage.
Yeah, that.
Go to 11. Pass the turn back. Russell gains 10 life to 39 life.
Looks like a tricky situation here now for Daniel because
he's gaining 6 life. Oh, sorry, he gains 3 life. He's going to untap and draw. Looks like he's found a mountain off the top. So you thought
if he has Presence of Gond, which he doesn't.
He does.
Yeah, he's got Presence of Gond. He's just waiting for the bell ringer. Then I imagine. So.
Looks like we're going to play another Make 2 Kithkin.
And flashback and
Sends Enlistment.
Sends Enlistment. That's
you
right.
You can't flash it back yet because you have to pay 4 mana and retrace. We're going to pass the turn back here to Russell, allowed to untap. The birds should have untapped, or they attacked for 3. Yeah, they didn't attack. They're going to untap.
Attacks, yeah.
Okay, because
he's got to keep them back.
He needs to hit. Well, he has to hit Rally the Peasants because. And this is where the Skulk. Oh right, he's drawn another Elephant Guide. Guess we put that one on the Skulk instead.
I think he should diversify his threats here now. There's no need to put any more onto the Vault Scourge. Being a 10-10 is suitable enough.
Well, your opponent can't. The way if you make it again, the way you get punished is your opponent journeys to Nowhere your creature. I like making the Rancor.
Oh yeah, sure. Have the Rancor.
I like
Stop getting the chump blocks.
Yeah, I like making the Rancor onto the Vault Scourge, but I like making the Elephant Guide onto the Skulk as well.
This is going to read here. We've got a reader.
We got a reader over here.
You got a reader. We shall see now what he does here. I think he's going to actually do the rank. Oh no, he's tapping 2. Wait a minute.
I think it's the correct line is to make the Elephant Guide on the Skulk.
3. There we go.
Just please don't go all in.
What's it going to be? All on the Vault Scourge. Go for it.
He is going. Yeah, so he's going on the Skulk. He's going to make the Skulk a 5/5, which is correct.
Yeah.
And then we rank all the Vault Scourge. Get him.
I want to see Russell end on 50 life.
Ugh.
Oh, you're taking a trip to London, are you, there, Kev?
Taking a trip to London on Burger and Pub nights isn't too easy. Burger and Pub versus Pauper.
Yeah.
It's actually harder than you think. Or do both.
Yeah.
Come play Pauper and then go down the pub.
You're more than welcome. I have seen people eat in here whilst they're all having their match, so
Probably not best to bring your burger, though.
Your beer, even.
Or your beer. We're going to see a large attack here from Russell.
Drunk.
The Volt Scourge now being 12 power lifelink trample.
Yeah, let's go.
Has been quite good for Russell.
Apparently so. I love Rancor. It's such a good card. So that when was that first printed? It was Urza's block, wasn't it? I believe. Rancor, I think, was Urza's block.
Let's have a look.
Urza's.
So we now go to the wonderful joys that is MTG Gatherer.
Half-price burgers at the local here in Cambridge. Ah, Cambridge, wonderful. Yes, that's right.
Man, I wish I could make it in a night. Yeah, you might as well try at some point. But apparently Alexi from the joys of his very comfortable home is there will be some additional Pauper sessions soon. So please keep your eyes out for those.
Yeah, check the Facebook page, check the websites as well. The website has the calendar. And I believe the Facebook page has a calendar as well of events.
But if you just go to Darksphere calendar, it'll pull it up as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is a wonderful place to come and play.
90 minutes to get to Waterloo.
That's pretty impressive. That is a long way
away in the whole sort of grand aspect of things. I know people from America that say, "Oh, I'm just going down the road," and it's like 3 hours away. You know, to get something.
It's like when they travel 10 hours.
Yeah, I'm going 10 hours to a GP. Like driving? Why don't you fly, right? Well, you know, that's the ways of the world, and in our little pokey country, travelling an hour and a half is actually quite a long distance.
Yes,
although
it
we
certainly
do a lot
is.
by public transport, because we actually have quite a well accessible public transport system, but it's quite expensive. You have to pay for it through the nose.
It's legal in all blocks. Apparently the first set was Urza's Legacy by the looks of it. Then it's been printed in Magic 2013, Dual Decks, Garruk versus Liliana, Arch Enemy.
He scoops it up. Daniel has conceded with Russell being on 51 life. We got there.
Plane Chase 2012, Dual Decks Anthology, Garruk versus Liliana, Eternal Masters, Plane Chase Anthology, and Explorers of Ixalan.
Oh, was it an Explorers of Ixalan?
Yeah. The sort of the medium set. Yeah, it was a really interesting set. I never really saw it.
Did you get a new art print?
No, it's the same art, but it's got a new symbol.
Yeah. I like that art, but with the original border.
Oh yeah, definitely with the original.
The old school borders.
Old school borders. So sideboard plans. What sort of things are we going to see? So we have Scattershot Archer, Viridian Longbow, Epic Confrontation.
Epic Confrontation.
Yeah, from I believe Dragons of Tarkir. Target creature.
Symbol, yeah.
Target creature you control gets +1/+2 until end of turn. It fights target creature you don't control. He's in Epic Confrontation, and we have Gleeful Sabotage, which is obviously the destroy target artifact or enchantment with Conspire.
Yes.
Now, the cards that interest me, the Scattershot Archer.
Yeah.
4 of those is a pretty good start against the deck with 4
birds.
flyers. And it's also a 1/2, so it does block very well against the random creature tokens as well. Viridian Longbow must possibly another option. But
I think Viridian Longbow is what you want to bring in because for both decks, actually, I imagine they have.
It's another way of shooting things down, isn't it?
Yeah, you just want to get rid of those Soul Sisters. You want to get rid of the
Soul's Attendant.
Sisters in general, just those.
It's not a sister; it's an attendant.
Oh, okay.
No, I shall rules lawyer you.
She's a nun.
I shall backstory lawyer you as much as possible today. You will not be allowed to get away with anything because we're going to instead look at the
wonderful joke that Baldric tells. Have you heard that one?
No.
No. I think it's in season 2 of Blackadder.
Okay.
And Baldric, who's played by Tony Robinson.
Yep.
Wonderful actor, and he goes. I think there was Blackadder's going. What did your father do? He says, "Father didn't have a job. He was a nun." Or something like that. And he was so, sir. Because whenever he stood up in court and the judge said, occupation, my father said, none.
Very nice, very nice. We're going to look at the sideboard here for the presence of Gondex. We're looking at things like Pyroblast, not very good in this matchup, obviously. Relic of Progenitus, not very good. Journey to Nowhere, much better. Yeah. That one I can get behind. Same with the Ray of Revelation and the Oblivion Ring as well. Like all of those cards are really good, or even Fragmentize, which looks like it may have been the card, but we shall soon find out. Like anything to interact with the enchantments and artifacts is obviously very good.
Yep, that's right.
And obviously Journey to Nowhere is a great a catch-all way of going, well, yes, you have a massive monster, but no, you don't have a massive monster. Same with Oblivion Ring as well, just being slightly more expensive than the Journey to Nowhere.
So, both Oblivion Ring and Journey to Nowhere, they just deal with everything that's going to be coming out, I think, are suitable of this of Russell's deck. So just to beat the stall. I was playing Midnight Guard. Okay. I guess it's a 2/3. Doesn't have flash though.
Yeah, but it's the combo whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you untap it, whereas Village Bellringer doesn't untap it if another creature enters the battlefield. So it doesn't copy itself. When Village Bellringer enters the battlefield, untap all creatures, but it doesn't.
Oh, I see. Right, it's not that one. It's
so it's Midnight Guard because whenever another creature ETBs, you do it.
One of those two is from that same sort of series of sets, the Dark Ascensions and Innistrad things.
Get the Midnight Guard up, and yes, there is. I would definitely describe the Pauper community as thriving. It is a very wonderful community. We have a good 20 players here tonight for Monday Night Pauper. Is obviously a very good turnout.
Yeah, it's consistently getting about, I think maybe 10, just under 20, but
it's definitely the 16 to 18 people playing, so it's a very good number to see. So Midnight Guard, printed at common in M15, the 3-mana 2/3. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, untap a Midnight Guard. When you're on watch, no noise is harmless, and no shadow can be ignored. Obviously great when you're making it untap with your Presence of Gond, and this is the combo to make a huge number of creatures and then rally the peasants them.
Pity. Moment of Craving. Ah, yes. Still one of those suitable removal cards that you might have to get around and eventually start playing.
So
this figure's great, though.
This figure is great. Looks like we have a really good hand here for Russell. It's 2 lands, Nettle Sentinel. Looks like a Skulk, Pit Skulk as well. So a very good start here. And a Rancor, which is obviously a great start here with the Nettle Sentinel able to go in over the top very early on.
Seems good. Want a Rancor in your opening hand, that's for sure.
You can see looking down to 5, it's down to 6 here, so we see what looks like a Soul's Attendant, looks like a Plains, look like we have a keepable hand. The Survivor's Encampment, obviously a card that you're wanting to see when you are struggling for colours in your basically mono-white deck.
Pretty much, yeah, you're splashing for a bit of utility, but it's a bit harder in Pauper, isn't it? You don't get the fetch lands, you don't have the dual lands that come into play.
You have very bad fetch lands. You have Evolving Wilds and Ash Barrens. Oh, they're good. Do the same thing.
Ash Barrens is okay.
Yeah, it's a good cycling land. Daniel up to 22 now, maybe to 23 depending, but there's no 1-drop forest creature, no 1-drop green creature in the deck. We see another Nettle Sentinel here. We're going to make a forest. I think we make a Rancor if we have it, and we go ham because we get the Rancor back if it all goes wrong. Or he can just play another Nettle Sentinel instead. So it does kind of negate the amount of damage he's about to do, but the Pit Skulk's going to be very good, and I think we're going to give our opponent some life this turn. And it's going to come with a +1/+1 counter, and I think you make the Nettle Sentinel as well. He does get to untap with that one. I think you make the other one. You just need to try and start smashing your opponent's face in with these green creatures, and we're going to pass the turn back. The 1-mana 2/2 staring off on the other side of the battlefield to the 1-mana 1/1s.
Yes, yeah. The Ilara Panoramas, they were the 2-mana fetch lands, right? Or 1-mana fetch lands?
Let's have a look.
I can't.
We'd have to go and have a look.
I don't think they do because of it's a bit clunky, you know.
What was it again? Was it the fetch land that entered the battlefield tapped?
Yes, but I think it. Yeah, no, actually, I think it. I can't
wow!
exactly.
So we're going to see a Rancor here. We're going to see Rancor onto the Pit Skulk. Now it's a 4/2, cannot be blocked by a lot.
And I like here that Russell taps his enchantments as well, just for the added sort of tilt factor.
Yeah. Added tilt factor on full display here from Russell Murloc Bentley. And he's going to attack here for a mighty 8 damage. Daniel down to 16 and a draw for the turn. We have found
that's still relatively quick.
It's a pretty quick clock. Rancor
and he can't risk serving in as well with the Soul Sisters of fear of some kind of blowout card.
We're going to see an attack here for 2. One of the things you have to remember is Rancor does a lot of damage really quickly.
Yes, and he's going to take it. Russell.
And he's going to pass the turn back. Down to 18 for Russell. That very dangerous life total. We see another forest here. He's got Liliana's Ledge Walker and also what looks like a Howl of the Hunt pack.
Oh, he did have an instant. Why didn't he play it last?
Because he didn't need to. He can save that one because he also needs to make sure he has enough green spells to tap all his untap his Nettle Sentinels. We see another massive attack for 8 here for Daniel, down to 11 life. We're going to draw for the turn. Do we find the land? No, but we find a Presence of Gond instead in this deck. This deck not quite able to get going at all with both two 4-mana spells in hand that allow you to get many blockers into play. We're going to see 3 mana being tapped for the Presence of Gond.
Presence of Gond just goes on anyway because I think it's just gain 2, isn't it? Create a champ blocker for these Nettle Sentinels.
Yes. And that's the thing, it does gain 2 life each time as well.
Off the Nettle Sentinel attacks.
So we're going to see what looks like a Volt Scourge of the draw here for the turn. We're going to see Forest into play. We are going to see a Howl of the Hunt pack here for... Oh no, we're going to see the Volt Scourge. You still have to pay 2 life. Does tap 2 mana and pays 2 life.
Right. Well done, Russell.
Daniel up to 12. He remembers that
you don't need to pay that.
And I think you Howl of the Hunt pack here and just crash for a pile of damage.
Would you, or would you just not 7 for everything?
Because then you don't have to do it this turn. You can instant speed it as well. So I think you attack here for
why not?
You attack for 5 this turn, which puts your opponent down to 7. You then get to instant speed it as a block ability as well, so you can hopefully maybe wreck your opponent. Interesting. So he's going to give it to it anyway.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that
untaps the Nettle Sentinels, doesn't it?
Yeah, which does mean this is a big attack here. We're going to attack for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, for 10 damage, down to 2. And remember, this Pit Skulk cannot be blocked by pretty much anything in Daniel's deck, and he needs to find an answer to it very quickly indeed.
So the Soul Warden's going to have to tap now to gain 2,
he's going to make a 1/1,
elf, block
go to 14, and then he's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage down to
just
6.
over half of his life total, yeah. So he's really on the back foot now for Daniel, and just can't get on with the. I mean, his land base. I think playing a 3-color deck in Pauper is just
not drawing your land is the problem, I think. But he does find another. He does find another Warden, which does allow him to have the ability to untap. Now this is where obviously
Skulk, right? And I guess he gains 2, so he goes up to 8.
So we're going to see Fragmentize. That's interesting that he chose not to get rid of the Rancor. But he's now going to gain.
Yeah.
Now this is where Russell may have a small problem. Is how does he win the game still from here? He does need to find maybe an elephant to guide, as we now have started to assemble the life gaining prowess of the deck.
Daniel's still gaining 3 each time the Soul Warden gets tapped here. From the
it looks like a green spell. So I think we're going to serve in for 6 here from Russell.
We shall see what comes from there. Another Rancor.
We have a Rancor, which means we get to untap our elves
as well. And the Ridge Walker is
cannot be blocked by
creatures without flying. Yeah. So it's the reverse reach sort of thing. Yeah. So he's going to have to gain 3 here, go up to 11. Still don't think that's going to be quite enough.
Going to take a lot of damage this turn.
It's going to be so much. Unfortunately, I think he has to chuck one of these elves into the bus. Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, he gets Rancor back for if he does destroy it with the... yeah, no, that's very, very true.
Oh,
that makes sense.
So it's only when... So it doesn't come back to your hand if the creature is
if he does it
killed
in response to you killing the creature, yeah.
Yeah.
With it getting enchanted.
Because it doesn't actually go onto the battlefield.
That's right.
That's true. So we're going to see a chump block here and a huge amount of damage. Daniel down 2. The mighty 1. However, if he finds the Midnight Guard off the top...
No, that's not enough. Because he has to go Presence of Gone. No, Presence of Gone has to go on to the Midnight Guard.
True, that is true, but it looks like, unfortunately, he's got a Cuddly Guard in this turn, so that's 6 life.
Still not enough.
No, so we're going to gain 3.
Not quite enough, is it? Unless Russell draws a Forest or a non-green spell in his...
Well, he's taking 8 damage. Unblockable 8 damage.
Yeah, but he's gaining...
6. So he's going to go up to 7.
9. He was at 1, wasn't he?
He's at 1, so he's at 4 now.
3, 4.
So he doesn't actually... He can just kill his opponent.
Depends if this is a green spell. Which it looks like it is. It's Quirion Ranger, which is even better.
No, it's probably not. Don't you just attack for lethal with the creatures you have?
Well, no, you can, yeah.
You had lethal damage anyway.
Lethal? Oh, yes.
You had lethal because he can't block you.
Well, you can start
we're going to see a tap here instead. Yeah.
As well.
So we're going to see it'll be interesting to see what happens. So we're going to see a gain of 3 life up to 8. Yeah, it still doesn't matter because he's up to 10 at the moment, which means that this does participate a chump block here against the Nettle Sentinels. He does mean that the Quirion Ranger does get to untap the Nettle Sentinels, which isn't a bad part of it, and get the land back. We're going to see him drop back down to 2 life here from Daniel. Russell definitely on the front foot. Now can Daniel find... He has 4 mana now, which is good.
He's just tapped the... He's just tapped his laughing tone stuff that he's missed the Quirion Ranger trigger there now.
He could do it on both turns.
Yeah, to untap. But I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue.
Yeah, he actually realised that he has opponent dead.
Yeah.
But his opponent now does get to make quite a few tokens, which is going to gain him a lot of life. He does have to tap a lot of creatures, which means he has less blockers, but obviously The Skull. Yeah, I think Russell's regretting it all.
Making the birds does nothing right now, doesn't it? With
he gains 12 life.
12. Buys him a turn. Oh, he's got 2 copies of it as well. Oh no, that's
the Kithkin one.
Yeah, the Kithkin. The Kithkin one's good as well.
Is Sen's Enlistment.
We've got 2 or 3 people that play Delver. Also, a lot of the people that play Pauper, they've got a lot of decks because of the availability of the cards, and it's relatively cheap to buy in. So there was, we had blue-red Delver on camera. We had mono-blue Delver as well on camera with Kai playing it last week. I believe he's on a different
We have loads of
deck
people
at the
playing
moment,
loads
so
of different decks in Pauper. That is definitely the case.
They all have nearly all of the decks to some extent.
Yeah. So we're going to go up to 14 life here, which does now give him the problem that the fact that this Ledge Walker can be blocked, and Russell may be missing out on lethal damage here, and we're soon going to see an untap of the Nettle Sentinels in the end step from Russell.
That's right. If there's any particular cards that you're interested in, Kay, or Kai, or of Avalon, do ask on stream, and we can have a look and see if they're in stock here. So if you are planning to come down, we can do a little bit of checking for you. The Pauper folder is actually getting more and more cards by the day, so
Forest off the top here for Russell, deciding not to use a Korean Ranger in his end step. I think we see an attack here with the Skulk.
Yeah.
I think now you're running into the problems that your opponent is gaining too much life.
Yes.
And hello, wee wee Sui. Welcome to the stream. You have Mono Green Stompy versus the Presence of Gone, the combo deck in play.
So for asking to where to find your commons online, there's
Magic Card
numerous.
Market, about it. Or Darksphere.
Darksphere, yeah.
They do
As
actually have a website
now.
I believe. I think there's a website, yeah,
oh, right, okay. We'll definitely check online and have a see if we got it there. They might not have the full sort of item inventory up on there, but
no, it's much harder to get them in Darksphere because there are so many people who want to play Pauper who come into the store and get the cards. They do obviously have
a really decent selection as opposed to other shops.
Definitely. So. They have definitely taken the approach of inclusion for the different Pauper decks that people want to play. We're going to see a chump block here, which does mean that some damage is going to come through.
It is.
We are going to put more birds in front of him.
So actually, that's an interesting question here from what where you guys has said. He said he thought it was easier to get cards in Europe, and it is. It's just we're in the wrong part of Europe. The UK is actually quite hard to get certain types of cards. Actually, quite a few random cards are just very difficult to get. Commons tend to be one of those popular things that don't get thrown around back into the market as so often. And we don't have big shops that sort of have bases all over, say in America, where you've got various card shops. They seem to have an abundance of stock, and it just sort of floats around the country.
I'm going to see an untap here. From the Presence of Gone deck, the double block with the birds taking out the Ledge Walker, but returning the Rancor to the hand, which means that the Pit Skulk getting even bigger. We see another Cunningly Heart Garden, which was obviously picked up by the Garrison. A nice interaction there with the Karoo Bounce Lands.
Right.
Gaining another 3 life up to 12.
Love it.
And we also have the Kithkin Sen's Enlistment, which is another way of gaining another 6 life.
This has sort of slowly been turned into Daniel's favour now.
Gaining 3 life a turn is pretty brutal.
Who heard it was good?
Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it was good?
Who would have thunk it?
And we're going to see 2 being...
Cunningly Heart Garden has seen play in constructive formats before. Not
and
very
it was
many,
pretty good.
But it's
pretty good.
Yeah.
When it's good, it's good. And then gaining 3 life. He's now back to 20 life.
Yep.
And Russell, I think, right now kicking himself for not doing lethal damage the turn he had it. And
so he might get a game 3.
An attack for 2. Daniel on the offensive.
So I'm not sure if Russell put in a Spider Soak Karmas. I can't imagine he has. But gaining reach on all of these random creatures would be great right now, just to stop those birdies from coming in and chipping away at his life total over the course of a couple of turns, or maybe quite a few turns. But
he's attacking for 7 life, 7 damage every turn.
That's right. And with this sort of the 3 life gain from the Presence of Gond each time as well seems to be quite backbreaking. And now we can't really even attack him with the Nettle Sentinels because of the Kithkin.
So we're going to see another Pit Skulk into the battlefield. 3 life gain. 3 life gain from Daniel, and unfortunately, it's starting to fall away a little bit here from Russell. His deck not quite helping him as much as it did in game number 1 of the match.
That's very much the problem here. Now, I mean, the Soul Attendants and the Soul Wardens have been just showing you how good they are.
And another presence has gone.
And another presence has
gone. I think if you're Russell and your opponent shows you the second presence, you may just concede and go to game 3.
You might want to just hold on to it until the combo comes, the Midnight Guard. We haven't actually seen Midnight Guard yet from Daniel here. He's just sort of valuing out Russell.
I think when your opponent is gaining more life than you every turn.
That's right.
And can hit you for 2 every turn.
Yep.
Which is a point as well. He is clocking Russell faster than Russell's clocking him.
Right now, yes, that's right. So imagine the elephant things. What were they called again? The elephant...
Elephant Guide.
Elephant Guide. Russell would love to see one of those here.
I think he'd love to see a Vault Scourge, but another forest means that he has a trio of forests in hand, which means that
yes,
we could be on to game number 3 very soon. Pass the turn.
Quirion Ranger doing its best impression here of Vigilance for the attackers. So he's going to actually send in now with the Nettle Sentinels. Interesting. So what did Russell draw then? It must be a green spell.
I think at this point you just trade off against the Nettle Sentinels.
It doesn't matter. To some extent, yeah. I mean, you're making an Architect and gaining 3 life here with the Presence of Gond that's on the Soul Warden. So he's all of the value. So okay, so no, he's just going to chuck in the
O1,
the plant token here. That was there's a very, very cool plant token. I don't know if you've seen the full art one. Actually quite interesting. Really quite a nice design there on the full art flip and the foil side as well.
Yes.
The Esper Warriors deck from Khan's Origins BFZ stand.
Oh, Esper Humans. it was the Esper Humans deck with like Lelev Sky Knight, Zathra Necromancer in the sideboard.
No, that's past Khans. Zathra Necromancer was
When was that?
14.
It
wasn't with Khans. Was it? Oh, okay.
I think it was. It was after Ravnica.
No, I think it was Warriors because Warriors
it was Warriors. Yeah, no, that was it. Yeah, it was black white. Normally black white Warriors.
Yeah.
It was an interesting deck for sure.
Good fun with Rally as well. I mean, there was the Rally deck.
Rally nonsense.
Rally nonsense.
4 color nonsense mana bases.
Yep. None to go husk. What a great
we're going
card.
to return a forest here for the untap of the Nettle Sentinel, which does mean he gets to block.
Certainly does.
We're going to tap 3 mana, and we are going to...
What is it?
Rally the Peasants. So we're going to deal 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, that is lethal damage, and Rally the Peasants.
There we go.
The value plan from the Presence of Gondek able to take down Russell and move to the grand total of, if we updated the scoreboard, it'd be even better, to 1 and 1.
One apiece there for both of these guys here coming in.
I definitely think that Russell is more likely to win game number 3.
I think so.
Faster.
As long as he doesn't miss the lethal then as well.
Yes, so...
Gaining your opponent 3 kind of hurts.
Yes, we're just going to reset everything. Now, life pad's going to be hit on the side of the table. Life total's back to 20
Smash
apiece.
Back to 20.
Mardu Woespear, Chief of the Blade, Bloodsoaked Champion, played Tormented Hero until that rotated.
We were just talking about
finished with Brutal War Chief and secured
Yeah.
the wastes. Those modern All-Stars that have seen play
like
somehow.
Brutal War Chief.
Blue was for counter magic from the sideboard because you had fetches and easy mana, so why not? Yeah, that is also true.
That's standard when...
That was nonsense mana bases.
It was 5
actually, no,
good stuff.
it wasn't. When First Lands were printed, it actually wasn't nonsense.
Well, no, that's true.
It was only when they printed Battle for Zendikar.
Yeah.
When your windswept heaths simply found you forest or plains, and that was it.
There's they came up with the weird names as well, like Jeskai Black and Sultai Red or some random
you had like Sultai Red, Mardu Green.
You
had Wet Mardu.
Dark Jeskai.
Dark Jeskai, that was it. Dark Jeskai.
Wet Mardu.
Wet Mardu.
I love that a lot more than Dark Jeskai.
But that was when you were base. That was when you were base Mardu with the blue rather than base Jeskai with the black. That was a really weird. That was a form where Painful Truth was like glorious to cast.
Painful Truth was beyond good. It was such a good.
Sorry, Moist Mardu. That was it. Moist Mardu.
Moist Mardu.
Yeah, Painful Truth is a glorious magic card. Shame it's a rare and you can't play it in this set.
Yeah.
Be good fun. So players going to shuffle up for game number 3. Russell versus Daniel Gowron.
I still stand by my thing of whenever I go to a GP, I sign my deck registration form and it says deck name as it green white fairies. just to really throw people off.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can name your deck whatever you like.
That is true.
It's great. So I was hoping, whenever eventually I make a top 8 of a GP.
Yeah, it's
and
playing Green White Fairies. Green White Fairies.
Because they have to name it whatever you named it, mostly.
Yep.
So
I
he's
don't
playing
believe
Green White
that's the case.
Fairies. What's this? He's playing Thoughtseize turn 1.
my favourite one was always when I got to call my deck Rug Life.
Oh, yeah.
It's Rug Life.
Swag Tusk. Now that was a fun standard with Thrag Tusk and Mr. Angel.
That was funny. But did you ever see did you ever see? So Evan Irwin, it was an interesting one. So Evan Irwin did a series on his channel, the Magic Show, where he went through all the different cards in a really funny thing. Did you ever see it? It was called The Magic Show, and he did one for the Cards Attack kit, and he went through all the different ones. So it was sort of like he was like the Jeskai clan, a little Kung Fu Panda, and it was really funny because they got to the teamer, and it's like now for the final clan of red, blue and red centered on green is the teamer clan. They are savage rugs, yo. That red, blue, green sun, bringing it from the streets, or hut. Savage or whatever nuts. Savage wasteland where you're able to punch a bear in the face. And obviously because they had Savage Bear Punch was the make. Oh, so much fun that was. But we're going to see a turn 1 Querying Ranger here. No, nuts. His opponent wants to have a mulligan first. Russell's like, well, I'm just going to do this anyway.
Play Magic. What do you mean I have to sit there
and wait for you to mulligan?
Don't mulligan in my presence, little child. So Crackling Doom, Crackling Doom was, I think, the reason that Jeskai...
you played
Dark Jeskai played
Painful Truths.
Yeah, but I think Crackling Doom was... it was that answer to sort of Ujitai and...
Then Painful Truths. So we're going to see a keep here from Daniel. Looks like he has a Prismatic Strands, a Rally the Peasants.
It wasn't Brutal Horde Chief, was it?
No, but it was a pretty good card. And we're going to see a green-white tap land to gain a life starting at 21.
What was the 4-mana Mardu flying thing?
Butcher of the Horde.
Butcher of the Horde, yeah. Butcher of the Never Played.
Yeah, we're going to see an attack here for the very rare attack with the Querying Rangers to get the...
Shanker.
That was not playable.
Never played? No.
Not played in Standard. We're going to see possibly a Rancor as well added to the Pit Skulk as well, and a pass of the turn back here for Daniel, who's going to draw for the turn. We've got another land here. We might see a Commune with the Gods.
I think you need that right
Soul's
now,
Attendant, Prismatic Strands, Midnight Guard, and the Soul's Attendant.
Oh, he's already got a Midnight Guard.
He's got the Midnight Guard. No, he doesn't. So he takes that. The other 4 cards to the graveyard on a pass back of the turn. They are actually in turns at the moment. They took so long. They're actually in turns.
That's what happens when you go out to 50 life in game 1, I guess.
We're going to see a Elephant Guide put onto the Pit Skull. Russell saying, I can beat you. I can beat you. We're going to see a massive attack here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And a pass back of the turn, a shake of the hands.
Ah, there we go.
Is a draw.
Yeah.
Daniel not quite able to win game 2 fast enough to allow the players to play out. I did wonder what the dice was for. Turns out it was for turns. So we're going to bring it back to the booth. John Partridge, Chris Wingrave, reminiscing about the joys of seasons past of various formats while we watch some wonderful Pauper action today. Mono Green Stompy drawing with green, white, red, Presence of Gond combo. We didn't actually see the combo ever go off, but we did see both decks get to do their things. Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to take a very swift break. We'll be back with round number 3 of coverage very shortly. We shall see you soon. Round 3, ladies and gentlemen, is upon us. Chris Wingrave to my left, Jonathan Pudridge to, well, me. What can you do about that? Sometimes I have to deal with the name that I have in front of me. So we are on to round number 3. We have another monogreen Stompy deck in the feature match area against my dear colleague.
We have Slivers.
Slivers. So 2 decks trying to go quite large with their creatures, one slightly wider, one slightly taller. Which will be an interesting match. But neither player has a huge amount of interaction, I believe, in the main deck. We shall wait to see what the sideboard brings. We're going to send it down to the feature match area, give the players the go-ahead, and round 3 of our Monday Night Pauper coverage will be off to the races.
Right, let's get in. We have Slivers versus Mono Green Stompy, right? For
Why did you put an uncommon sliver up? Couldn't even put a common up.
It wasn't just an uncommon sliver. I'm sure it was. No, maybe it wasn't. Let's see. What will show up, though, is probably... let's get this up on camera now. We have... pronounce that last name. Yeah, I will do. I just have to rip out my tongue, swallow it, and then I can actually have the ability to pronounce it. So it's a bit of a tricky one. But no, Tommy... I believe it's a Swedish name, but I'm not sure. Maybe something like that.
Pronounce that last name. No.
I already said you have to rip out your tongue and swallow it.
Oh, okay, then possibly yes. But we're going to see a turn 1 Voltscourge here from Francesco. Tommy starting off with no turn 1 play, but we're going to see a Sinew Sliver as the turn 2 play. We're going to pull up Sinew Sliver on the card reader. 1 and a white, 1/1. All slivers get to +1/+1.
And it's all slivers, so if there was slivers on the other side,
the sliver mirror
as well.
Now that was different with Predatory Sliver, wasn't it? Which was
Predatory Sliver is each other sliver.
Yes. Well, let's find out.
Sliver creatures you control, actually, maybe. Slivers.
Because obviously at one point they used to do all of the lords with like slivers you control.
Yeah,
so thinking back to say Lord of Atlantis, which is all merfolk. All other merfolk get +1/+1.
And Island Walk, yep.
Whereas Master of the Pearl Trident is Mother you control. And they changed it slightly to make, but also interesting, obviously the original printing of Lord of Atlantis was all merfolk because it was a summon lord, not a merfolk.
Yeah.
For those of you who know that far back with their magic knowledge, we're going to see a... Well, that's a pretty good start. It's a Voltscourge of a different artwork, so we do have the mismatch art and a Rancor.
Beautiful.
Onto the original one.
Well. And he's not tapping the enchantments for the extra tilt.
No, not the extra tilt factor, nor the white bordered lands. Instead, got his foil old school forests. We're going to see a muscle sliver into play here and an attack for 2 here. Yeah, Francesco says, yep, bring it. I'll take the damage and go with it from there. Muscle sliver, the 1 and a green, I believe, is all slivers.
It's Predatory Sliver, but
without the U control. Obviously, we're looking at new and old slivers here. This one of the older variety, the all sliver creatures get +1/+1. Going to see an attack here for 4 from Francesco, back up to 20.
Yeah, seems good. Would you have... there's 2 different Voltscourge, isn't it? One's the Primo Hearts.
Now the players have got to quickly work out what the life totals are.
What is my life?
So he's taken 4 so far, went to 19, went back down to 17, should be at 21.
It should be at 20.
It should be at 20, yeah.
Oh no, he's taken 1, so he should be at 19. No? Yes.
So he took 4 damage overall down to 16, then another 2 down to
20's right, because
14, and then gained 6,
gained 1 from the initial 1 from the first,
So we're going to see we have a very possibly explosive turn. We have Burning Tree Emissary as the draw, but we're going to see instead a Young Wolf. And a Pit Skulk here for Francesco. A very explosive draw here from Francesco. Plenty of creatures and the Rancor also helping along Burning Tree Emissary at the follow-up play next turn, possibly.
The one's pretty good for that card in particular.
Yeah, 1 mana 2/2's pretty good, and it can't be then blocked by the 1/1s, and there are a lot of 1/1s. Obviously, these slivers
there's a lot of 2/2s at the moment.
So we're going to see another 2 mana sliver. We're going to see Sentinel Sliver. Slivers get Vigilance, which are now 3/3s. So we're going to see an attack here for 6. That's a pretty large attack. Yep, we're going to take it. No blocks.
And unfortunately, this Pit Skulk, what's it called? The Skulk. The Skulk is a 2/2, so he can actually be blocked.
It's interesting. So he's going to double block, which does give him the trigger of the Young Wolf. So he's going to kill the Muscle Sliver.
Unless, it does.
And trigger the Young Wolf.
Yep. So it deals 3 damage, which is going to be enough to kill each of these creatures here.
Yep.
So the Pit Skulk will die. The young wolf come back.
With a counter on it.
With a counter, yep. How nice, how kind.
And Francisco takes 3 down 17 and on top of the Volt Scourges, both of them
There
quite
we
large.
go.
And we see a Quirion Ranger, very good draw
Foil
here,
Quirion Ranger as well.
with
Nice.
another Pit Skulk in hand. So you can see why he was so happy to trade off those cards this turn. His opponent missing land drops, much worse for the Sliver deck compared to this Stompy deck, which can work very well with very few lands, especially with Quirion Ranger able to pick one up and untap as well.
It seems great.
So we're going to see an attack for 4. Tommy down to 10. Francisco back up to 21. The life total swings obviously quite favourable when you have a Volt Scourge in play. A card that sees a lot of play in Modern. Modern,
right.
Not so much in Legacy, but obviously very good in this format here. Life gain, a hugely important
Life
part.
gain's so important. Yeah.
We're going to see.
Just the big
Yeah,
switch.
no, I hadn't. Like lifelink is really important in this. Like normally it's not that massive because. Modern's one of those formats where a few life here and there doesn't matter, but in this format, life really matters. We're going to see an
That's
untap
right.
and a pickup. Possibly going to play a Nettle Sentinel and the. Now we don't want to play the Burning Tree Emissary because we can't. We can only play one spell.
Yeah.
So actually, I think we make the Pit Skulk and the Nettle Sentinel, and we get a load of 2/2s into play,
Pit
making
Skulk,
these
yeah.
slivers a lot worse on the attack. Now the Sentinel Sliver is a 2/2, is a 3/3. We're going to draw for the turn. Do we find a land possibly to cast our spells with? But it doesn't look like he does.
Has he not got a? Well, he's certainly got one play. There
So
we
we're
go.
going to see a.
We got to read it, and we are reading.
Well,
as
we're going to read it as well. We're going to go back to the depths of MTG Goldfish and
Is
work
that
out what it is.
The Venom Sliver
No.
and the different art
No, let's have a look.
from the
So,
Sliver. It looks like it's got
Pauper.
the Sliver set symbol. Oh no, maybe not. No, actually, it's small. It's that's a Sliver from New Phyrexia, I believe. Did they actually have any in there? I'm not certain. It looks like a New Phyrexian symbol. A Spinneret. It's a Reach Sliver then.
Oh, Spinneret Sliver. There we go.
just
So
gonna throw my pen on the floor.
Spinneret Sliver. 1 green. It is a 2/2. All slivers have. This creature can block as though it had flying. It doesn't have flying itself, but it can block as though it had flying.
So Reach.
Which means it can block these Volt Scourges.
It does mean it can block this, yeah. And it's quite suitable, yeah. Nice. Reach Sliver, basically, yeah. Absolutely wonderful. Let's get this up on there. So it was a Spinneret Sliver,
Yep.
I believe, yeah.
So it is spelt S-P-I-N-N-E-R-E-T.
Sliver, yeah. What a surprise.
Yep, that makes a change. You've got it right.
My spelling is fine, thank you very much. There we go, Spinneret Sliver. That was, okay, from the Time Spiral. Nice. Huh.
The Wretch Sliver.
Rich, yeah.
Spider Slider.
Ooh,
So
and there we go.
a big
So
attack here from Francisco.
yeah.
Will pronounce lethal damage to Tommy.
Nicolini.
Unfortunately, Tommy just never finding his third land drop, not able to
Quite.
do a lot when he doesn't do that. So what we're going to do now is look at the possible sideboard cards that could be coming in. Things like, for example, the Scattershot Archer, the Gleeful Sabotage,
Yes.
the Obsidian
Yeah.
Acolyte, which is a 2-mana 1/1 protection from black. Target creature gains protection from black. Nope, don't want that one.
No.
Hive Stirrings is another possibility. Make 2 1/1 slivers onto the battlefield.
Hive Stirrings is really
or
good,
Prismatic
actually, like-
Strands. Now that does seem like a very appealing
We
card.
saw that a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yes.
Or last week, actually.
I love this set. You can play Armadillo Cloak in this set. Oh,
That was from...
it's common. You can play Armadillo
Invasion?
Cloak.
No,
It's
Invasion.
wonderful. I have no idea. We'll have to look into it at some point.
Armadillo Cloak.
So I think the things we're going to look at is Gleeful Sabotage is great. It kills
sorry,
all the
seems good.
enchantments because it also kills the Volt Scourge as well. Hello, Purry Purry. Welcome to the stream. John Partridge, Chris
Purry.
Wingrave taking you through Monday Night Pauper here from Dark Sphere in London as we pull Armadillo Cloak. They obviously
Armadillo Jazz.
realised that it was much better as an uncommon when it was
Yes,
printed
yeah.
in Iconic Masters. So +2/+2 and has Trample. It also has whenever it deals damage, you gain that much life. Now, interestingly
That's it,
enough,
yeah.
it is very different to Lifelink.
It is very much different to Lifelink, because if you have anything functioning like with First Strike,
So interesting enough, it stacks.
yes.
Lifelink
Yeah,
doesn't
so
stack.
If you have, if you have Lifelink as well as this,
So you have 2 Armadillo Cloaks, you get Lifelink twice. You get to do you get the damage twice, and you get to gain twice the
two
life.
separate effects.
Well, you don't get double the damage, but you get double the
No,
life
no,
link.
it's
You
double
get double the life
the
because of
big
the way it
effect, yeah.
works. Journeys to Nowhere, things like Sigil Blessing in the
nice,
main.
Perry Perry. We found us on Reddit.
Oh,
Hopefully
wow.
it wasn't in anything nasty. But,
Hopefully not. I think Alexi has been trying to delve into the dark web for the different places. But no,
Yes.
welcome to Monday Night Pauper from Darksphere in London. We have Mono Green Stompy on the right of your screen
Facing up
versus
against the
Slivers on the left. Francisco taking quite a quick game 1
It's,
against the Sliver deck. His
that's
opponent
right.
never really finding his third land or any lands past the second one, which means it's quite a challenge.
Turn too slow. It was on a decent sort of spread of creatures, but
Definitely.
then yeah, unfortunately the double block as well kind of hurt. Because in that sort of stage of the game, Francisco could just throw things away.
Yeah, and Young Wolf is a great card because it gets to come back, of course, because of Undying, making it instead of a 1-1 into a 2-2, as we're going to see the player shuffling up for game number 2.
And get it back.
Yeah, it's a very good mechanic for the decks that want to use it so well. We saw in round 1, we had it with Carrion Feeder, where you can use it to feed the monster, make it bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's fed the lane, that's it. Forfeit 15 minutes.
So players are going to shuffle up for game number 2. Francisco at 1 game to the good. Players are going to reset the life totals, and we shall soon be on. Tommy on the play with his Sliver deck. Now I do think the Sliver deck can definitely get ahead if it just needs to hit its land drops.
Strands as well, those are going to be vital in seeing whether Francisco actually taps out or whether he just sends in a few creatures a turn. It can really slow them down. He can play around it so well.
I think just drawing lands might also be another way to win the game.
Right.
Certainly it does not hurt. Players are going to offer their decks to each other to be cut, obviously in the general of sportsmanship. It's actually a rule.
Right. Cutting a deck? Yes.
It is a rule. The shuffling one's an interesting one. It is a rule within Magic that you must offer your opponent the deck to randomise. However, they may choose to not do it.
Yeah, that's right.
You still have to offer it in the good sportsmanship to show that you have no intentions of doing anything untoward. So we're going to start. We're looking at our opening hands, like a couple of three lands, natural state. Looks like a couple of Nest Invaders, possibly for Francisco. Looks like a pretty slow hand here, but Tommy's going to go back to the drawing board with his Sliver deck. Does Francisco want to keep his hand?
The devotion, protection. No,
Aspect of Hydra.
Aspect of Hydra. That's the
one. Looks like a couple of natural state maybe, but we'll soon find out. Depending on Francisco. So now natural state's an interesting one. Obviously worried about Journey to Nowhere.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's certainly going to be a functional card out of the Slivers. I mean, they mostly tend to be it's green-white, splashing a little bit of extra colours, isn't it? But it's predominantly green-white. The
Sliver deck, yeah, predominantly. Mana Weft can sometimes help with that if they play it. Mana Weft they can't play, so they obviously can't get the extra colours. So you are a lot more restricted in your colours. So we're going to see a scry here from Tommy, happy with his hand. And yes, Pauper is most certainly the up-and-coming format at the moment. We saw that at the GP where you had a approximately 300-player Pauper tournament at on day 2 of the GP here in London. We're going to play a Forest on turn 1, not wanting to play the Pit Skulk, yet. We're going to see a Forest, we're going to see a Virulent Sliver, and we're also going to see a Sidewinder Sliver, so flanking already into play. Pretty good when you're trying to stop the blockers, especially when they're quite small. Gemhide Sliver. Let's have a look at what Gemhide Sliver. Actually, have a look at what Gemhide Sliver. Slimmer? Gemhide Slimmer.
Right now on stream. Watch the stream. You get Slimmer.
Sidewinder. All slivers have flanking.
Flanking's actually quite good here now because all of the random 1/1s are vital to your sort of your plan.
Yep, and it means that this Nest Robber will not be able to block with the token, but it will be able to block itself, which is obviously quite good. Nest Invader, sorry, not the Nest Robber. The Nest Robber is a 1 and so it is common, so you can play the Gemhide Sliver. All slivers have tap, add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. Obviously, when we're talking about Nest Robber, Nest Robber is the 2/1 haste dinosaur from the most recent block from Ixalan. We're going to see an untap here, and I think the best draw here would be a nice Muscle Sliver.
Stompy versus Slivers, yes, Kai.
It would be nice to see a Muscle Sliver, a Sinew Sliver, or a Predatory Sliver, but we have 2 mana being tapped, and we're going to see the Predatory Sliver here. And this is going to be a big attack here. Both 2 power, which means that flanking fully in effect. Creatures that block, a creature with flanking that don't have flanking get -1, -1.
Unfortunately, the Nest Invaders token, the Scion token, will not be around for too long if it does decide to block, but it does
Spawn, because Scion was the most recent one. So he's going to take 4 damage here, and, well, he's going to take 2 poison. He's going to take 1 poison, sorry. 1 poisonous counter. But does it twice because there are 2 slivers here, and this could be going back the other way. We're going to see an untap here and a draw for Francisco. Looks like he found a Hunger of the Howl pack off the top, which is pretty good, which does help him get around.
Offer up a bit of protection here from
and with Morbid as well.
With Morbid as well, yes. That's
so we're going to see the Nest Robber attack, and I think you take the damage.
Do it. Come on, do it. I'm right here.
I think you do take it.
I think, yeah, you got it, right.
You're still at 21 life, so
That's right.
okay. Down to 19 for Tommy here.
You got loads of time.
Yeah, yes, your opponent gets
Tommy's
to do
starting
things.
off really fast in this match, though, so it's going to be hard, I think, for Francesco to climb back in, but it is possible. He has got the tools.
So we're going to see a Forest and a Pit Skulk making another 2-2.
There we have it. So, I mean, this is pretty good now. So, he's always got access to Morbid.
Yes, which is obviously fantastic.
Really good. He's got a Vines of the Vastwood in hand as well, so if there is any Journey to Nowhere shenanigans, then...
So it looks like we have a Muscle Sliver, making his creatures even bigger. Now, what this does mean is that the Slivers are going to start to become quite problematic, so we're going to see an attack here for a lot at the moment. So all of these Slivers are currently...
+2/+2?
They're +2/+2 or +1/+1 if you're the Predatory Sliver. Oh, sorry, no. So it's a 4/4. So the Predatory Slivers are 4/4. The others are 3/3s with flanking.
Ooh.
It's pretty good, which makes this difficult.
Predatory Slivers 1/1, isn't it?
Oh, no, it might be.
I think Predatory Slivers 1/1 with +1/+1, so it's effectively a 2/2.
I believe you would be right.
Yes, the reloading thing. That's something we're going to have to sort. I'm not sure if it's something to do with the stream when we put our B right back screen up, but it tends to throw people out a bit, unfortunately. But generally, I will type in chat when the next round comes up. So
we're going to see a kick to Vines of the Vastwood here.
Oh, here we go.
Onto the Pit Skulk, which is going to do quite a good amount of work. So we're going to see this now become a 6/6. And, yep, taking out the Predatory Sliver. Interestingly enough, I might have taken out the Sidewinder Sliver.
That's right. Well, yes, actually, it would have been interesting to see because the flanking is quite relevant, actually.
So we're going to see an attack deal 6 damage here to Francesco, and he gets to untap and draw for the turn. Finds a Volt Scourge off the top with a Nest Invader.
Nest Invader. I love that name.
It's a good name, isn't it?
It's so good.
And obviously, Tommy has done very well at not drawing a third land in Game 1 or Game 2 so far.
So there's no Nimble Mongoose in this list from Francesco. No Nimble Mongoose.
No. We're not going around this. We're not having that conversation again.
Just like him. Here we go. So he's triggering the Morbid.
So we're going to see a copy of Nest Invader make another one here, which means we get to hold up 2 mana, make a Volt Scourge, and still have 1 mana available for maybe a natural state. But I could see maybe holding the Howl of the Hunt.
Howl of the Night pack.
Howl of the Hunt pack, I believe it's called.
Howl of the something pack. We see. Help us out in chat. Go on if you're there. What is it?
I can just look on here. Hunger of the Howl pack. There we go.
Hunger of the Howl pack. There you go.
Hunger of the Howl pack.
Howl of the Night pack, I believe, is the you make 2/2 wolves for every forest you have in play. I believe. Howl of the Night pack. It's something like that. I'm sure it's you make 2/2 wolves.
Yes, it is certainly a tongue twister, that card. So obviously, Howl of the Night pack, a different card to what we're looking at. Yes, create a 2/2 wolf creature token for 7 mana for each forest you control. However, we are not looking at that card. We are looking at the Hunger of the Howl pack. And I'm not going to lie, it's pretty disturbing, this artwork.
There's quite a lot of Hunger-named cards in Magic.
Hunger of the Howl pack. 1 mana, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Morbid, put 3 +1/+1 counters on a creature. On that creature instead if a creature died this turn. Now it is a pretty gruesome art. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty gruesome.
Nice, is it? It's not something you want to see on a Monday afternoon or Monday evening even, or Monday wherever you are. It might not even be Monday. It might be Tuesday.
That is true. Still Monday. No, I don't think it was that far behind.
I think it'll be Sunday, but maybe.
So we're going to see a sacrifice here.
Go for it, yeah.
And we're going to see you Volt Scourge first. Yeah, he's going to Volt Scourge first. He's going to go down to 8, tap, and make the Howl. Hunger of the Howl pack, which does leave up the natural state, which is obviously very good.
That is actually quite useful.
However,
if he does come across.
The thing is, even if he does get to natural, say for example, Tommy draws, yeah, it takes all the counters off, which is not great for him. When these are all.
It's not so good, but this game is still in favour of Tommy right now, so just trimming down a few of the potential attackers. Although
Tommy is at 15.
Slightly getting into it now.
Finally, the third land.
Ha-ha! Pray to the gods there that you draw your lands when you need them. There we go. So you're going to lead off with
Another
a
virulent sliver.
Virulent sliver, yeah, that's it. The venom sliver, the one that gives them poison. So that's now 2 poison counters per
Each time.
sliver, which is particularly dangerous now because I believe he's at 4 poison, Francesco? Yes, he is at 4. Easy does it. Let's see what comes in now.
Spinneret sliver.
Spinneret sliver. So the reach sliver. So it actually means that, yeah, okay, so just going to 7. You're going to have to block some of these.
You block the flanking sliver?
But you're still taking 4 poison.
Mm-hmm.
And
But you block
no
the flanking. You block the
so
flanking sliver with the Vault Scourge. He's actually going to double block.
You double block
which
because
is
they're all 1/1s at the moment, right? The virulent sliver is only.
No, they're all 2/2s. Because of muscle sliver.
There's muscle sliver.
Yep, there's a
he's
muscle
blocking
sliver.
the muscle sliver.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what it means is they
yes,
will all die.
of course. Yep. And you take 2 poison. You go up to.
He still
6.
puts 1 damage onto the virulent sliver, and then it becomes a 1/1
That's
after
right, yeah.
damage. With 1 damage on it, becomes a 1/1, which means
Yep.
it will die anyway. But it does trade.
Yep.
They all trade with each other, apart from the muscle sliver, which the muscle
Now,
sliver.
does poison do a -1/-1 counter? So the Vault Scourge is going to go down.
It's
No,
just
it's
poisonous.
just the poisonous. Yeah. So it's not like a wither effect or anything like that.
So the nest invader should be dead as well.
Yeah, nest invader should be. Because damage is dealt at the same time. Maybe need to get.
Gonna pick up that one.
Just have a look and see. John's going to run off now and slam their heads on the table, as you shall see in 5, 4, 3. No, it's not going to really. He's just going to mention that maybe nest invader should die. Here we go. There's the hand of John. Look at that ugly hand. There we go. So it gets returned down into the graveyard now. Away you go, you nest invader, you horrible munchkin. Yeah,
Players remembering themselves.
So there we go. Yeah, you don't get to block and not kill your thing as well. Kill the nest invader.
Now these are back to being 1/1 slivers, unfortunately. Not quite able to assemble enough, and Francesco now on the attack with his 4/4 Vault Scourge is pretty good. Yeah, Mono Green Stompy might have turned the corner here.
Is there any natural state kind of effects from Tommy's side?
What kind of effects? Yeah, I mean, you can bring in the same card, and you've got shattering. Whatever the. Let me have a remember what the green card is. Gleeful Sabotage as well.
Ah, yes. So that might be actually something he wants to bring in if he does win this game. If he hasn't brought it in for this particular game. So it looks like Russell has fit the Russell he was the Mono Green Stompy player from before. Let's see who has he played against. He played against Kai, so actually the younger
3 mana
of
being
the family.
So we have 3 mana being capped for Lead the Stampede.
Oh, so Russell got mana screwed in his match, unfortunately.
Poor Russell, unfortunately not able to find his lands.
No.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
I believe it is running Lead the Stampede, from what I've heard.
Lead the Stampede hitting a muscle sliver.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Actually, it's namesake card. There we go. Just as if it was planned. You ask for whether it's running Lead the Stampede, and it's getting played. There we are. Asking you shall receive. It looks like Tommy's gone swinging back on the defensive as this life swing from the Vault Scourge is actually playing quite a big part.
Yeah, it's definitely gaining him a lot of life.
Works in Pauper. There we go. It's showing itself now in both of the matches. Even in the presence of the con matchup.
Francesco trying to decide how he wants to attack this turn. Plenty of opportunity to do quite a lot of damage.
Choose to go in with the
team.
I just think
you have a Vines of Vastwood in play. You just attack with everything. You can just attack. Oh yeah, I suppose you're still worried about your poison count.
Yep.
Well, you're going to send in the team.
He's going to send in the team. He's brave. There we go. Any pump sliver, and I think Francesco dies.
Oh
no, not quite.
Another virulent sliver would kill him.
Another virulent sliver would kill him, actually. Yeah, you've got to be.
I think you just take the damage if you're here with Tommy, because you're on the poison plan here.
You are on the poison plan. That's right.
And you're only taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However, Vines does kill you if you don't block.
I think you're probably better off just blocking with the
Vault. You block the Vault Scourge, right?
You got the Sidewinder Sliver, so you block the Nest Invader. Oh no, you got Spinneret Sliver. Yeah, okay, just shove it.
Is that a 2/2?
The Spinneret Sliver, I think it is. Spinneret. Spinneret.
Spinneret.
Sliver. Do you ever see the Simpsons episode where Smithers was a snake and he ate Mr. Burns?
No. So it is a 2/2 which means that we take we only take one.
Trade off with a bit skulk at least. So that's
4, 5, 6 damage. We're down to 5, up to a pretty irrelevant life total here.
Sliver, isn't it? I don't think the Spinneret Sliver dies because the.
Let's double check what Sidewinder does.
Right? Sidewinder is flanking, right? So, oh no, it's when it's attacking, isn't it, that the blockers get. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No,
so does he have a virulent Sliver to win this game and take it to game number 3, or is he Sidewinder? Sidewinder Sliver. I forgot my D's. Forgot my D's, ladies and gentlemen.
Need more.
But yes, I do agree. Pauper is great. Whenever a creature with flanking whenever a creature without flanking blocks a Sliver, the blocking creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Does not work when it is blocking.
Yeah, shame. Otherwise, that would be fairly broken.
Does not look like Tommy unfortunately has the.
If it's a virulent Sliver, but
looks like he doesn't have it, unfortunately. I would have been pretty good if he'd have top decked that. That would have been like, oh, glorious.
Well, he's already got one in the yard as well, so. That would have been particularly fortunate for Tommy, but it looks like he's not going to quite get there.
He does have 4 of them normally.
It's still a 2-turn clock here now.
Like if he has a fog effect, then it's still 2 turns.
Or a reach. Actually, yeah, he's got a prismatic strands, hasn't he? He's
got multiple prismatic strands.
We saw that from game 1. Dun, dun, dun.
Attack for 1 poison. 1 poisonous counter.
Poison.
Which is interesting. Looks like his opponent is double natural state in hand.
Well, no, Francesco, what are you doing? It's going to 7 though on the poison counter.
So we must have absolutely nothing in hand. Draw of the Quirion Ranger here. Well, that is a fantastic top deck to find. That effectively locks up the game for Francesco.
Unless Tommy's got some form of instant speed removal here for 3. I guess he could have Celestial Flare. I don't think he has.
But he also still has the...
yeah,
you just attack with everything.
Right? Yeah, of course you would. Yeah.
You can still attack with both things. You get to make a Quirion Ranger.
Win red.
This is also lethal damage.
It is.
So we're going to see...
there
we go.
There we go.
Prismatic strands. Which is why you should have attacked with both Slivers.
Yes. Yep.
Because it means that you guarantee to put him to 2. Well, you give him an extra poisonous counter, so you put him to 8 poisonous.
And that would have mean that this would have been a 2-turn clock instead of a 3.
Okay.
Vines. Yeah.
It doesn't. What? Don't. Hang on.
Do you want to go and see? Prismatic shards. Oh, maybe it has to target a creature? No, surely not. Right? Prismatic strands, sorry. Prismatic strands doesn't need to target a creature. Yeah, let's. Do you want to go and.
No, they've already given it up now. Prevent. Oh,
from a source.
Sorry, no. Prevent all damage that sources of the colour of your choice would deal this turn.
Yeah.
So it actually.
Yeah, so go and.
They've finished the game now.
Oh, well, there
he's looking through his deck now.
Or maybe he just conceded anyway. Maybe he has no.
But he could have won the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Quirion Ranger hurts that.
Quirion Ranger does stop it, yeah. Prism to 9, but any other poisonous Sliver would have been okay. Or a pump Sliver.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
We will let them know, of course.
We'll
what we do is we're going to bring it back to booth. John Partridge, Chris Wingrave. What we'll do is when we go on our little break between round 3 and 4, before our final round, we will go and let the players know what we think of their terrible plays and that they can't read their own cards.
What do you think you're doing? Yeah.
It's something that maybe because it's because it's of that choice, people didn't realise that that's how it worked. But what we will do is we're going to take a very short break. We will be back with round number 4 of coverage very shortly. We hope you will join us for that final round.
Yes, come back, do.
John Partridge, Chris Wingrave, we will see you very shortly.
We will see you in the booth very shortly.
Well, it won't be that long.
No.
Well, most players are almost done, so we probably won't. Pauper's quite good actually, because most of the games end at a similar pace, which has been really good actually, because I've been to standard tournaments where I've done a 10-minute round and then sat around for 40 minutes doing nothing.
Yeah,
but Pauper is a wonderful format. I am really, really glad to hear what has been happening, and we will soon be back with round number 3 of coverage. Round number 4 soon. Final round, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 4 is upon us. The mono black control mirror. Something we haven't had a chance to commentate on before.
Not quite,
very, very few mono black decks that we have seen has meant that this is probably the second time that I will have seen mono black on camera, and we get to see how it goes. We're going to send it down to the feature match area, give the players the go ahead, and we will be on to round number 4, our fourth and final round of our Monday night Pauper. So we're going to give the players the go ahead. I will go do that now.
This is going to be the grindy one. Definitely going to be the grindy one right now because there is not much. There's not much going to be going on here except for lots and lots of death, lots of destruction. Absolutely all of the black cards are going to be flying out of here. The oubliettes, the Chainer's Edicts, the Diabolic Edicts, maybe some hand disruption. We're going to have some no, we're not going to have any damnations, of course. But I would love to see some damnations or some languishers. However, I don't think that they are quite legal in this format. I see some Chittering Rats. I do see a Baron Moors here for Maxwell here. Lee on the left-hand side, and Robert Notowitz didn't get a good look of his hand, but he's just going to lead off on a swamp and say go.
Oh,
There's
mono black, how we
Moor.
love you. Baron Moore, oh, the drop for
Baron
the turn.
Moor.
So what we're going to do, we're going to assume that the players are on a fairly similar deck list. We are going to pull up the
the Doom Blades are not going to be
decks.
too functional.
Yeah, yeah, not so good here.
Out. So
It
this
looks
is
like
the...
well, it's gone anyway.
It
Did not survive
Hits the
very
bin.
long.
So the...
I know, I'm trying to think what I'm trying to pronounce it, but I'm going to struggle.
Genji? No.
Let's have a look. So, oh no, that's Legacy. We don't
Pass
want
the
to go
10 for Robert.
Do not
going
want to
back
go
to
on to Legacy.
Maxwell
Let's go to Pauper.
I think it's going to be Chittering Rats. There we go.
Chittering Rats. So, 2-2 for 3. Target player puts a card back on top of his or her library. It looks like we have a disfigure here to get rid of the rats straight away. Robert having all the answers very early on. So, let's look at blue, black, no, green, no, mono black. There we go. So, the most expensive Pauper deck I've seen in my life, it would have been Kumbaji Witches, I imagine, was the card we were looking at, possibly? No, it was, let's have a look at the list there. Couldn't tell you what it was. Doesn't look like it was in here.
Maybe it wasn't a standard list here from then Robert Notowitz. There's another Chittering Rats. Getting coming
and
back.
unearthed. Getting unearthed. The Chittering Rats. We're going to see a card put back on top of his library. We're going to untap and draw that same card. Looks like a
I think I had that before.
Chainer's Edict to
there we go.
get
Goodbye,
rid
Chittering
of
Rats.
the Chittering Rats.
Maxwell's gaining the advantage, and there's another
Chittering.
Chittering Rats. Oh, absolutely savage here by Maxwell Lee. He looks like he's right on the plan. And he's got another Chittering Rats in
Bog
hand.
as well. Looks like we're not going to allow our opponent to play
Rats.
anything. I imagine that was a Grey Merchant of Asphodel in hand for
Oh,
Robert.
please be Grey.
Oh,
Gary.
wow.
Come on,
We're
Gary.
going to draw for the turn.
Come on, Gary.
Because it's a pretty good blocker, although these Liliana Spectres are going to be pretty brutal.
Liliana Spectres are going to be absolutely fantastic.
So Liliana Spectre is the 1 black,
it's going to be the 4 mana, the Thorn of the Black Rose.
Yep, Thorn of the Black Rose from the most recent
and he's a monarch.
Conspiracy set. So it is the 1/3 Death Touch. You become the monarch. Obviously, as the monarch, you draw an additional card at the beginning of the end step. And if you are ever dealt damage by a creature, then you lose. They become the monarch.
This is the mono black Chittering Rats deck.
Yeah, Chainer's Edict.
He has played something else.
Chainer's Edict not looking as good here.
That value. Now, I believe that Gary might come down. No, he's going to lead off with Unearthed
Chittering Rats.
Put that back on top
Does not want his opponent to play absolutely anything this turn. We're seeing the Chittering Rats lock here. The Rat Lock. An attack here for 3. Robert down to 14.
Now, Swarm Yard isn't legal in this format, as I believe it's an uncommon, which is
Looks like it is actually Grey Merchant of Asphodel. We're going to see.
Oh, no, he's going to bring back the Chittering Rats. Put it back on top.
Hello.
Nice.
Greetings to
Cobra
Hamburg
Hand.
in Germany.
Yes.
To Cobra Hand, and we're into a round number 4. We got the mono black control. Well, we got one person actually playing. The other person has been
putting
living
his
with the top.
back on top of his deck. It seemed like a fun way. It's almost like Lantern Control.
I actually didn't understand the. Yes, the round has started. I don't actually understand.
Yes, the game has started, K of Avalon. Yeah. If you're.
I'd never seen this, but this is brutal.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, so you Going to FNM while on vacation in London was one of your favourite decisions.
Oh,
Fantastic, that's good to know.
Liliana
Spectre. What time did you come down?
Discard that Grey Merchant of Asphodel and an attack for 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that's game.
Robert's done here.
Let's just pack up and go to the next one.
Well, that was very quick. That was that's what happens when you chittering rat lock your opponent, apparently. But a very interesting version from Maxwell Lee, looking at the multiple copies of Unearth in his deck.
Ooh.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up Unearth on our little screen here, already saved from earlier. The 1-mana black common sorcery. Choose target creature card in your graveyard with total casting cost 3 or less and put that card into play.
And if it's not important, you can cycle it away.
That's pretty good. So chittering rat's a fantastic option to get back.
And actually, what Kai has brought up here, Cobrahand has brought up here, that Liliana Spectre sees Pauper play. He was quite interested in that. So I believe it's actually quite a really good card, because whenever you deal combat damage to a player, you get them to discard a card. Functionally, 2 for 1.
It's pretty good.
Seems good. Why not? Ah, I see. If you play the Spectre, you don't play the Kumbaji Witches. Kumbaji Witches? Kumbaji?
I'm just trying to find the version.
Witches.
Kumbaji Witches. Yeah. So I'm just trying to find a version with this all these unearths in them, because that is funny.
Yeah. So I imagine Doomblades come out.
Any number of Doomblades will be coming out in this matchup.
The Chainers Aegis are okay, and the Diabolic Edicts slightly more expensive, but still quite good. Oubliettes, if they are playing the Oubliettes, I know they've been pretty hard to get a hold of in this country.
Yes.
So I imagine if they are in there, then well done to them. But yeah, we shall see if they do actually play it.
So wow, Oubliette is
it's one of the most expensive cards in Pauper.
Wow, it's $92 for 2 of them.
Yeah,
so for those who don't know what Oubliette does, it is a 1 black enchantment. Select a creature in play when Oubliette is cast. That creature is considered out of play as long as Oubliette is in play. Hence, the creature cannot be the target of spells and cannot receive damage. Use special powers, attacks, or defend. All counters and enchantments on the creature remain, but are out of play. If Oubliette is removed, creature return. What? Really?
They reprinted in Masters 25. Yeah, basically it's a Oblivion Ring, right?
Really expensive Oblivion Ring. It's 92 for 2.
But for mono black. Yeah.
That's in paper as well.
$92.
And it's 193 for the deck. In paper.
Oh yeah, no, it's one of the most expensive decks in the format.
Well, I suppose this is 4 Chainers Aegis isn't bad, but the 19 snow-covered swamps costing $15.50.
Well, you don't need to say snow-covered swamps.
1 Oubliette, $46.25. This man had 3 of them in his deck.
Wizards of the well, actually, it's not Wizards' fault. It's just people playing Pauper. So. It's only ever had 1 printing of paper. Yeah, so they could do like some kind of, in the iconic Masters.
It's not on the reserve list or anything, so you can definitely get that. I don't believe it's on the
scimitar thing. The scimitar isn't of the dark.
Well, we can probably find out. We now go to the other dulcet page of Gatherer.
Gatherer.
And then remember how to
Gatherer. Put your Craigasms in the chat there for Gatherer. Scimitar is Arabian Nights. Of course it is. Yeah. No, my fault.
Yeah, definitely your fault.
Sets.
Definitely your fault.
Yeah. Craigasm's in the chat for Arabian Nights, please. Thank you very much. What was the
Why
big
would
money
you
card
do
in Arabian
that?
Nights?
Huh?
What was your favourite card in Arabian Nights?
Well, bearing in mind I don't know any of the actual cards in Arabian Nights.
Ali from Cairo. Oh no, Ali from where was it? The blah, blah, blah.
So the question in this game is, will Robert get to play anything? We're going to see a duress here from Sandon. Robert's going to see a 4 lands, Chittering Rats, Corrupt. Looks like we're taking the Corrupt because that's all we can take.
Corrupt goes to the bin.
Yep. Duress is non...
Oubliette
was from Masters. Well, it was printed in Masters Edition as well.
Oh, really?
Well, Sets and Legality. Let's go to that one. Arabian Nights, Masters Edition.
So the Masters Edition, are you sure that's not the like random vintage thing that they do for...
No, I have no idea. It's just what it says it's legal in.
Let's have a look at it and see.
I have no idea.
GG. Yeah. Masters Edition. I have no idea. Oh, maybe it was... No, it can't be. Yeah, I don't know.
Do not understand the price of that card.
Anyway, right, so we've got another Chittering Rats. Another No, we've got a single Chittering Rats. The first of this particular match. And then that
if anyone
card,
can help us actually with what that card is, it looks like it's from the Kamigawa block.
Yeah, it's that sort of dead again to the same card.
Sacrifice card. Geralf's Verdict is that card.
Guess Verdict. Guess Verdict, I believe, right? the lose a life one.
Yeah.
Because he's been pinged for one. Wicked Akuba. Let's drag that up then. Thank you very much. Where were you guys? That's
where were you guys?
Where are us? Where are us? We're not actually here right now. We are streaming from the moon. And there is a favourite card from last week that beats up on the elves is. There's Trickster Elves. It's
Pestilence.
Yeah.
Nice. So instead we're going to try and beat up on the Chittering Rats aggro plan. We see Relic of Progenitus here coming in from Maxwell Lee Roberts, bringing in the Pestilence instead. His ability to play off the top of the deck, being able to find another swamp instead. So we're looking for the Grey Merchants here. Pestilence able to deal with the Chittering Rats.
Wicked Akuba. There we go. It is
a 2/2 for 2. Target player dealt damage by Akuba this turn, loses 1 life. So we're going to see the Duress hit in the exile pile. We might just see Robert fire off the Pestilence this turn. Both players lose 1 life. Oh no.
Pestilence.
That was not Pestilence by the looks of it.
It looked like Pestilence to me. It looked like Pestilence to me. What's happening here?
It looks like a Chittering Rats here as the draw for Robert putting in Maxwell's card back on the top of his hand.
Thank you very
Deciding
much.
not to activate the Relic, he's going to do it now and untap it.
It was Pestilence. So why did it die? Who knows?
We'll go find out.
Maybe it was in hand. Maybe it was in hand and it got discarded?
By what?
I don't know.
We shall go find out.
See, back to... Well, who knows? I have no idea why they came out. We're going to find out now. John has just gone over there to stick his head in and see why the Pestilence... I think he cast it and then used it turn after. Okay. Pestilence is not a 1 use only, though. And there we have... Is that a Scarecrow? No, it's not. It's a... Oh, I see, because there's no creatures in play, then it has to be sacrificed.
So Pestilence goes because there are no creatures in play.
Good. That's it. Not Zareth. Yep, thank you very much.
Yeah,
no,
it's sacrificed.
Yep, that's right.
So we're going to see Chittering Rats and another card. Yep. So let's see what happens. The Relic of Progenitus, I would have probably cracked by now. Oh, we see
probably. Oh, there we go.
The Legion Zealot.
Yes.
The 2-mana 1/1 with Paducah Bog. 2-mana 1/1, lose a life, draw a card. Obviously a great way to cycle through your life, through your library, and an untap and a pass back of the turn here. So we're going to draw it for the turn. What does Robert find? He could do it. Oh, it's another swamp. Oh, we're doing well. The Relic of Progenitus, I think, should probably be correct this turn. We're going to see an attack.
I think you need the draw, don't you?
I think we might trade off the Chittering Rats here. The Unearth, probably quite good in Maxwell. Maybe not so good now. More of a cycle card. And interestingly enough, he's going to not crack the Relic. Yeah, I think we crack the Relic this turn. Everything goes to exile. No, maybe not.
Ooh, no. Okay. Well, I mean, he's got plenty of mana, hasn't he? So.
Again, Unearth isn't doing anything at this point. Your opponent has no cards in hand. We're going to see an attack for 1. Robert's down to 10, a pass back of the turn here. Draw of the turn. Oh, wow. Looks like he is going to hardcast the Gurmag Angler. That is a very expensive fish. That is a very expensive
fish. It's the real big fish. He's coming in here now. It's like not the band. They haven't arrived on the table yet.
So we're going to untap and draw. Looks like a Chainer's Edict's not at its best in this now.
Not terrible, but if you want to trade off and then he's going to guess.
Oh, wow.
Guess ready.
Able to deal with everything in play. The Gurmag Angler, the very expensive fish.
Thank you very much for coming.
Not lasting very long. An attack for 1. Robert's down to
gets signed.
9. Possibly by the Professor.
Maybe. Yes,
looks like it is by the Professor. We're going to draw for the turn. Looks like we find a 2-mana spell, and we found our own High Legion. We found our own Legion Zealot here, and another draw of the turn, which looks like we found a Chainer's Edict possibly off the top.
That's functionally quite useful. I think now, right, you just need
do you want to fire it off into the... Like, you can trade and block. I think you hold on to it if it is an Edict.
You hold on to it, don't you? Because there's better creatures to get it with the Chainer's Edict.
Yeah, I think you can afford to try and trade off the block.
And you're probably thinking that Maxwell will probably have a Gurgly Burgly or 2.
that might have been the first time I've ever seen someone hardcast a Gurmag Angler. I've seen it once before. It was pretty funny.
I've done it in Modern a few times.
What, hardcast? How have you got so much land to hardcast a Gurmag Angler? We're going to see a swamp off the top here from Robert. An attack for 1.
Deck.
Definitely Durdle.deck.
Yeah.
Sure, okay. No, we're going to see...
Not anymore. Oh! Ink Eyes, right?
No, that is...
Oh, no. It's only if it's not blocked, right? So you can't ninjutsu it in. Ninjutsu.
Oh, right, unfortunately.
It's the... I will kick and scream until I get the name. It is the... Disfigure, go away. It's not Ink Eyes, because Ink Eyes was the Lord, wasn't it, from the Kamigawa block of the rats. I had that rat deck when it was in one of those sort of Starton decks That actually had advance.
Okiba Gang Shinobi. So 4 mana ninjutsu. Whenever it deals combat damage to player, that player discards 2 cards. 5 mana normally. He's going to play another of the Wicked Akuba here. Obviously, a very good way of possibly getting this ninja to play. Oh, we see a great Merchant of Asphodel.
Heart, Gary.
Oh, a nice life swing of 2. Robert down to 6. Maxwell back up to 17, and possibly need a good draw step here for Robert to come back into this game. His opponent has managed to found a very... Corrupt's already gone. By the looks of it, only possibly run to 1 off. We're going to see another swamp here. Looks like we're going to be hard casting the... looks like we have a removal spell, though, which is really good.
Seems like they're just working out how they're going to get through this particular match. And I guess Maxwell wants to keep his graveyard for the unasked and other things.
10 life?
Yes,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Ping you for a lot, because I did 1
So
damage.
deal 2, deal 6 more.
Deal
that
7.
is deal 8 damage to your opponent.
Seems suitable.
So between when they sideboard, I'm actually going to look at some of these cards because I have no idea what some of these cards do. So the relic is still in play. See a draw of the turn, see a Legion Zealot again, draw another card, go down to 8. It does block, and we'll also draw for the turn, see if we can find a removal spell. Looks like we found a Thorn of the Black Rose, which is a Death Touch 1/3, I believe, and it's a good draw because he gets the Monarch at the end step, and we're going to untap and draw for the turn, see if we can find a removal spell to continue the attacks with the Wicked Akuba.
This is where you really want to block.
Well, he certainly found something to play, so we're going to play it out.
It's that card again. And have us out in the chat. We need to find out what that card is. We're doing really bad on this one over like random cards. There's some of the cards there that, I mean, I've certainly not been in the Pauper scene for that long, unfortunately, but I am learning very, very quickly. It's Phyrexian Rager. Okay, thank you very much, Kai of Avalon. That's great. So, Phyrexian Rager, John. There we go.
The other one was Tendrils of Corruption.
Tendrils of Corruption. Nice. Okay, cool.
Which is obviously gains X life and deals X damage to target creature. So does this put in Tendrils? Not Tendrils of Agony.
Not Tendrils of Agony, because that would be far too good. Tendrils of Corruption is good, so it looks like he got a load of life back from that.
Oh, he got a lot of life back from that, but we're going to see Grey Merchant of Asphodel doing what Grey Merchant of Asphodel does best.
Gary.
Drain and gain. Back up to 12.
If you unearth, it could be
Tendrils of Corruption. 4 mana instant. Tendrils of Corruption deals X damage to target creature, and you gain X life, where X is the number of swamps you control.
I like the consistency in swamps between these guys.
See a big attack here. The High Legion Zealot coming. Well, the Legion Zealot coming in, which means I think that you block and.
Probably with the Rager, right? Let's have a look at the Phyrexian Rager.
It's a 2/2, but let's put it into system anyway. Yep. Phyrexian Rager. No, I.
Phyrexian Rager.
So he's going to put both cards in front of the Thorn of the Black Rose. And it looks like a removal spell there. And we're going to see a handshake and Robert. Another swamp, and wow.
It was actually fairly quick.
Yeah.
For a controlling matchup, they're finished before everybody
and we're going to see all of the spells that would have kept him alive and his Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Robert Nodovitz, unfortunately, falling 2 games to 0 to Maxwell Lee in the mono-black control mirror. Unearth doing its work in game number 1, and just unfortunately just drawing too many lands in game number 2. Not quite able to get there. Obviously, these are control decks. They run a larger number of lands than a lot of the other decks that we've seen. The green Stompy deck running 17. That deck, I believe, running more in the vicinity of...
Yeah, so Maxwell drew the most chittering rats, which I think is what comes down in game 1. Just being able to sort of tempo your opponent out there to some extent, and having suitable removal, having the unearths as well, which I don't think we saw from Robert. At all.
I don't. I think he was playing a more traditional version. Obviously, the slight difference with the Akuba card, which obviously
the Akuba was like great. Really I mean, it could be...
His opponent had to find a very early card to deal with that. Obviously, we're looking at more like 23 lands in these decks rather than 17. So more likely the chance of flooding out. Still 23 lands, you don't expect to draw that many.
Works with Corrupts, doesn't it?
It does work very well with Corrupt. Works very well with Tendrils of Agony. Tendrils of Corruption as well. Tendrils of Agony is a storm card. Don't want to be playing that one.
Well, you want to be playing
You do want to be playing that one. It is very good, but not so good when you don't have the ability to do anything. Mono Black Mirror. We thought it'd be really long, really grindy. Turns out, really isn't. Grey Merchant of Asphodel does a very
right.
good job of just running away with a game that
Gary's
is already
great.
in your pocket as well. That was just like, that was faster than the creature matchups we had.
Every single other Pauper decks, the
They're
players
still playing.
are still playing. So
They are still playing. So what we're going to do, we are going to take a very short break, see if we can get another match on camera, see if anyone else wants to come and join us.
And
We will be back, but
back
momentarily.
in a few moments.
So you are lucky, ladies and gentlemen. We managed to find ourselves another match after that one ended very quickly. We have two players sat in the feature match area. It is 1-1 in the match. We're going to set it straight back down to the feature match area and get the players going. We're going to give them the thumbs up and we shall be away.
Yep. Is that the right? No, that's not the right way around. Let's swap the players.
Quickly swap the players around. One of the joys of our system is we get to very quickly swap names over and bum, finished. And Kristen on your right, Graham on your left. We have, I think, black-white versus. We will soon find out what Graham is on. Kristen's deck I did see earlier. It is a bit of white-black extort with unmake. With unmake. Unmake your opponent's stuff. We're going to see Graham take a mulligan down at 2-6. Unfortunately, not happy with his opening hand. Kristen looks happy with hers, so we shall soon be on to the third game.
So these people are on table, let's have a see. They're
it doesn't matter.
Well, just
7.
7. But yeah, there we go.
Fine. They have both won a match today, so this is obviously good. Like a lot of the other players were in the middle of a match. We did grab one which had finished its game 2, so into game 3. So we did ask the players.
So one more final round for you. Well, final match game for you then. Night Sky Mimic action.
I believe so.
Yeah, it was in there, right? From the extort. Wonderful. Let's get Night Sky Mimic up there for everybody there to see along your wonderful screens.
So Night Sky Mimic, V1 and hybrid white-black, 2-1. Whenever you play a spell that is both black and white, it gets becomes a 4/4 and gains flying to learn of turn. We're going to see a plains and a swamp, and it looks like a turn 2 play. Looks like the Night Sky Mimic.
The namesake card.
Just what you want to see.
Someone knew and was standing behind them.
However, is it going to suffer a tragic slip? No, it's going to suffer. It's going to be edicted off the board.
Yep.
And we're going to untap. Kristen going to draw for her turn. A plains off the top. Looks like a Thrall in hand.
Thrall's a good start.
No, sorry, this one is...
Oh, no, that's the 1/1, which I believe makes a dude, right, when you kill it?
White.
The Banner Street... No, cohort or something, right? It's...
I'll tell you, look, give me a second. It's all right, it's all right, we're getting there.
Ding.
Fist bump.
It's a video there now, and the mono black player is looking.
Oh, here we go. So it is Nip Gwynleon. I don't know how you pronounce it. Otherwise, it has lifelink 1/1.
Yep.
We're going to see Chainer's Edict. It is mono black control.
Gets out of here.
Another creature hits the bin.
Yep, mono
It's a
black
very nice
control.
deck. $22 is a very nice deck. Morning Thrall, Night Sky Mimic, Tithe Drinker, Kingpin's Pet, and 2 blind.
Kingpin's Pet.
Yeah, the 3 mana, 2/2 flying extort. Obviously a very good card. And Blind Hunter is a haunt 2/2 when it comes to play, or it's put into graveyard. Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So we're going to see an unmake of the Bonded Sentinel. And we're going to see another Swamp in the battlefield. A bit of an artifact synergy here for Graham's deck. We're going to see another Bonded Servitor by the looks of it.
I believe there is this card. I'm not sure who's going to play it. I might just be making this up completely. Ah. That one might be in there.
Looks like we're going to see a big fish.
Yeah, let's see.
2, 3, 4. We have a big fish. We see the Gurmag Angler. So the Gurmag Angler, which has, funnily enough, found its way into every format available to it. So we're going to see Tithe Drinker here for Kristen.
Do like me a bit of Tithe drinking.
1 mana. We're going to make a
oh no,
it's the Edge of the Divinity, which is the split cost enchantment, which is if it's white, it gets +1/+2. If it's black, it gets +2/+1. So it gets +3/+3. So it's actually it's the same size. So you could trade it off, but it does get to extort as well. So we could have extort, keeping it 1 duress. We're going to see here.
So that's the
Gift of the Orzhov. Gift of the Orzhov, which is 1 hybrid white black, +1/+1 flying and lifelink. And Tithe Drinker, the other card, which is obviously another good extort target. Now,
nice.
Both players got 1 card. Both players have 1 card in hand. So we're going to see an attack for 5.
It's sensible to take the 5 here. You're not really worrying too much, and it's surprising then that she didn't drain and gain there for 1 with the extort. Yep. But there we go. We shall see.
So we will pull up Tithe Drinker. It actually has lifelink.
Yes.
Nice. So we're going to see 2 mana being tapped. We're going to see another Tithe Drinker. We're going to extort.
Yep. Extort.
Yep. We're going to... no, we're not. We're going to actually make 2 spells this turn. So we're going to see Castigate.
Castigate,
the
yes,
other
that's the
card.
Search
so we're going to see Shrivel.
Oh, no.
A fantastic pickup there. Shrivel, unfortunately, giving -1/-1, not able to do anything to the Tithe Drinker.
Oh, it's a shame. I love Shrivel.
Now, obviously, the main thing to bear with this black-white deck is they have a huge number of multiple coloured spells to activate the
very much
Tithe to activate the Night Sky Mimic. So Castigate is a black-white sorcery. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. Choose a non-land card from it and effectively exile it from the game. But it's remove it from the game, but it is exiled. Is another way of looking
from the that sort of
Guild Pact set, I believe.
Guild Pact. Yeah, that whole sort of era. Castigate was really quite nice then, so you could take away the opponent's answers and. Certainly revealing his or her hand, and you can just choose it whatever you want. It's a non-conditional, but non-land, obviously, but still really good. And removing it from the game is fantastic.
So we're going to see a vehicle here from the Kaladesh set. I believe it is the...
Is that the...
Garrison?
Yeah. Possible that there's a...
The Thrall is here. We are extorting twice.
Lovely.
Looks like we're going to have to go searching for the Garrison.
Just find the Garrison. Oh, that's a token. Oops. Here we go. We can have a look at a nice hero.
Have a look at a Thrall. So it is the mobile Garrison, the 3 mana.
Mobile Garrison.
Yep, so you pull that one up, and then I'm going to skip back to the wonders of this Orzhov extort deck. It is a Morning Thrall. Not a Morning Thrall, a Morning Thrall.
Didn't want to mourn when you're a Thrall. Here we go. Whenever Mobile Garrison attacks, untap target artifact or creature you control. So that's quite good. So you crew it, you attack the Garrison, and you untap with whatever creature that was crewing it before. Seems like good. But Read the Bones, fantastic. Sees play in a couple Couple of
It's a
formats.
really good card.
It is really good. Even the
We're going to
Drain You for
cycle
2.
the Baron more. We'll draw a card. And bearing in mind, read the bones, it is scry 2, draw 2, lose 2. Very simple. All 2s, and it does wonders in these decks. We're going to see another planes come off the top. It does cost 3 mana. We're going to see an attack for 1 flying here, and lifelink as well for Kristen. Looks like the players just need to update the life total slightly.
See if the Morning Throw here is going to do any particular good damage over the course of the game. Although it's not the morning anymore, so maybe it's not quite as good right now. Let's see what happens now. For the mono black player, he's going to cast another... Ooh, read the bones. There we go. We're going to swing it in. Oh, maybe it doesn't swing it in. Might be keeping back the vehicle here just to make sure that there's no big beastie coming in. But the Tide Drinker is a 5/5, but the Gomag Angler is pretty much putting up a big blockade against the Tide Drinker there, enchanted with the Edge of Divinity. So the Edge of Divinity is +1/+2 and +2/+1, so effectively 3/3. What's that?
They thought we were doing the life totals.
No,
so
you're doing the life totals.
So Morning Thrall able to attack again, but now it's going to eat a Grasp of Darkness.
Hello. Darkness, that's correct. Yeah.
-4, -2 for black. That kills a lot of things. We're going to gain another life. Scarred Barons into play for Kristen. Basically holding off the entire force of Mono Black on the other side of the table with the Tide Drinker.
Good.
Looks like we found an Edict effect here for... looks like another Innocent Blood here for Graham. Not the greatest in the world, does mean he loses the fish and doesn't get the real Tide Drinker problem off the table. But let's see what he does. If he can get rid of the 2/1, then he's in a pretty strong position, but only at 10 life at the moment.
That's
not
right,
at the highest at the moment. We're going to see a couple of lands being tapped.
Maybe a possible way if he has got a corrupt.
Wow, Chainer's Edict. Oh, this is going to be good.
One? That one, of course.
Able to get rid of everything this turn, and we're going to see possibly another Edict as well.
I think so.
Now he does still obviously. Very clever.
Oh no, crewing up with the.
Because then he can sacrifice that to his his Innocent Blood, and
I would have attacked with it.
He kind of. Oh no, he's going to actually sacrifice the fish. That's really strange to me.
That's pretty savage.
I would have kept the fish in play.
Yeah.
The fish is bigger than the garrison.
Fish is bigger than the garrison, but maybe he's got a follow-up here play. Maybe he's got another fish. Who knows? Let's see.
But the
2 fish is bigger than.
Oh wow! Does he have another fish in hand?
I think it is another fish. He's
oh wow! That is a huge swing. That is a huge swing against Kristen. This is. You're going to see one black being tapped.
Fish.
Looks like we have a Gomag Angler numero duo. We'll see a draw for the turn. See what do you find, Kristen. Obviously, her deck doesn't work so well off the top. But we have a Kingpin's Pet.
Kingpin's Pet. One
so
of my
favourites. One black, white, 2/2 flying with Extort. Doesn't match up very well against the 5/5, but it's still she's still at 23 life, so she has plenty to play with. Her opponent has 2 cards left in hand. Graham. Hopefully got a few cards in hand. Kristen running on empty and off, and at the mercy of the top of her deck. So we're going to attack for 3, and we're going to untap the fish. I do find it very interesting that he is keeping the fish untapped against a black-white deck, which doesn't really attack with very much, but we're going to see multiple land speed up. We have the Renegade Freighter. You remember this one?
Yeah, the limited all-star of Kaladesh. Was it Kaladesh or was it the second coming?
No, it was the first one.
All I remember from that sort of set was, did you pull a masterpiece? Yes. Well done, you've won.
No, did you pull the Freighter?
Oh, the Freighter as well.
The Traitor Freighter.
That's indeed the fish here, doing a very good impression of fish and chips.
The Renegade Freighter. The 3 mana 4/3 when Renegade Freighter attacks gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn for crew 2. Seems pretty good. We're going to draw here for Graham. What has he found off the top of his deck? Can he find another creature to crew both of these vehicles? Looks like he may have found something.
So. There's no.
Looks like we
going
have
to the graveyard of Kristen here.
A exile effect from the graveyard. Looks like Morning Thrall is getting exiled.
No.
So Vile Rebirth, I believe. So he gets a zombie.
Yes,
oh, now he can crew both vehicles. This is going to be a lot of damage.
For the Freighter.
Yes.
So a 5/4.
I think you just attack with.
Tends to be quite good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
I think you attack for 10. Put Kristen down to 11.
Oh. She's going to be so close here for Kristen to try and squeak back in the games.
She's still at 8, so she could still have a couple of draws.
It's very possible.
Looks like it was a land off the top.
Oh, no.
And unfortunately, a pass back of the turn for Kristen, not able to.
Kinping is going under the bus here.
Read the Bones was so good.
Really strong. Who'd have known that drawing 2?
Oh, we know we're going to do it again. Oh, wow.
Make a zombie. Make a zombie.
Oh, wow. All the greatest hits. Not Vile Rebirth, another version of.
It's something similar, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to see a firing up of all of the creatures. if we have like an Innocent Blood, it would be pretty powerful. But we're now going to see an untap here. This
you
is
have to block one of them.
well, she could have won and block and chump.
Yes. So yeah, I think it's pretty much over now for Kristen, sadly.
Block the
attacking?
fish.
Oh, it is attacking.
Yeah, the
'cause
fish was
both of those
attacking,
two
and
accrued
we're going to
the-
see.
Yeah, there we go. So she's going to take 3,
8.
4, yeah, 8
Down.
down to 3.
Down
right?
to 3. Krista, what can you find?
Needs damnation off the top.
I don't believe that card is legal in this format. We're going to see 2 mana being tapped.
It's a Night Sky Mimic. Woohoo!
Night Sky Mimic is onto the battlefield, but unfortunately maybe a little bit too late. Unfortunately, the mono black deck with its vehicle allies will be able to take down this match 2 games to 1 from a position where it was massively behind until a timely top deck of Read the Bones turned this game around. Another Vile Rebirth here.
Seems
full on Vile Rebirth. Fire up the garrison, fire up the freighter, attack with the team.
Untap, swing, scoop.
And a concession.
There we go.
We will now enter the game where I look at how many lands I drew and lament the fact that my deck drew so many lands. But that does bring that match to an end. Graham leaves, taking down Kristen Steinbrook 2 games to 1. And that does conclude our final round of coverage here from Darksphere in London for our Monday Night Pauper. We are going to disappear. There are trains to catch. There are wonderful evenings and beds to sleep in tonight. We will be back on Wednesday. There is, however, before that, there is live coverage of Legacy tomorrow for those interested in that format, taken along by our wonderful colleagues of the Legacy department.
We shall not sure exactly who's on tomorrow.
But I'm sure they will be around. We both will be back.
Yes,
on Wednesday for Modern.
Wednesday, definitely.
We have a juicy one.
The other ones, but yeah.
We have a juicy one because, as you may have seen today, the banned and restricted announcements for the formats came out, and there was a huge change across the Modern format, which we will be discussing in much more depth on Wednesday. We weren't going to do it today. We were tempted to, but you know what? We're going to hold it for the time where Modern is around.
You've got to hold it in with a bit of your temptations, don't you? I think that's the politest thing to do.
The weekend will be Standard Showdown and Modern Winner Box again. As far as I'm aware, that may change between now and Wednesday. We will confirm that on Wednesday.
Yes,
and of course, we will be back next Monday. Well, I definitely will be, hopefully along with Chris alongside me.
We shall see.
To take you through yet more Pauper action here from Darksphere in London. It is a wonderful format. I've enjoyed every moment I've had playing it and watching it.
It's a great format to watch.
I hope you guys have been enjoying it as well, and will join us either here at Darksphere in London or on Darksphere Twitch to watch some more of our lovely live coverage. Thank you very much for watching. John Partridge, Chris Wingrave, thank you for watching.
It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from him.